grits.
All right.
If you see me going back and forth, it's because I made bacon and I'm hungry.
I mean, I just always assume you're hungry, so that's not a surprise.
That is a safe assumption. If I'm not hungry, please call my mom and call the police.
All right, so
it'll be like your kidnapper code. We'll be like, Sam, do you want to get some food? And you'll be like, nah, I haven't been hungry today. And we'll be like, let's get her.
Yeah, please.
Yeah.
Call the police, please.
Save Samantha.
So that means Taco Bell's mine, I guess. Sarah, do you want Taco Bell? No, I'm good.
That happened.
Yeah, call the 5-0.
And an hour and a half later, they might show up and then tell us.
if they
shoot the
need
next
to.
door neighbor's dog.
So in my case,
Yeah.
just directly call my mother. She
Right.
gonna be
Right.
on it. Just call her.
Yes. All right, YouTube link is in group chat and Facebook chat.
Oh my God, where's my?
I'm also trying to really make sure that I don't show too much of this because this cleavage is very questionable. Where is the donate?
Nibs out for Harambe?
No, we're not doing nibs out for Harambe. That's how we get shut down. Nope. And if someone wants to maybe put the donation link in, because my Facebook's being a bitch right now.
Let me
Oh, please.
And I'll get us started while someone does that. So, hello, everybody out there in the land of the intranets. We are the Not Ready for Quarantine players, and 1 year ago and some change, we all got together on a Facebook Live because your girl didn't realize that YouTube could be an option. And we did one script reading for MTUG, which became 2 script readings, which became a year's worth of script readings. And it's been a year. It's been a year. And today we're back at it again, doing the first script that we did. But we're switching things up a little bit. All the roles have been moved around. Everybody is playing with some gender fuckery today in one aspect or another. And we're raising more money for MTUG. And we are only $50 away from 500. Which, big shout out to Kelsey's mother-in-law for closing that gap.
Yay, Carol.
Yay, Carol. So if you got any extra dollars, go and donate, please. Like, I know taxes are due tomorrow, but that's all bullshit anyway. So just go donate. And with that, I'm going to just start introducing our cast. We have one brand new person, and we have lots of our returning vets. First up, we have Ms. Green, Kelsey Davis.
Yay!
Yay! In the role of Mix White, the birthday they themselves, we've got Luke Sackington. Happy birthday! We will not subject. No, we will not. We will also not subject you to the Zoom happy birthday call. You already got that for Office Space.
We did that once.
Yeah, we already did that for Office Space.
We learned our lesson.
Terrible.
The only 2 people who are allowed to sing at the same time are myself and Eleanor, because it was an easy call and repeat. Narrating for us today, we've got Daniel Cook back.
Woohoo!
Our newbie in the group as Mr. Body and others. All the dead people. We have Kelsey's brother, Kale.
Yay!
Hey,
Welcome, Kale. We're gonna kill you.
Yay, I'm ready.
6 times over.
Spoiler
6 times
alert.
over. Yeah. In the role of Colonel Mustard, we have Liz Reichardt back again.
Yay.
Giving me a run for my money in the Femme Queen category today, we have Sean Watson as Mick Scarlett.
Yay!
Serving looks. Thank you very much.
As Wadsworth, giving the best Tim Curry, my wonderful co-founder Ginger Fahrenheit.
Hey!
As the best Vady, we've got Yvette Cadaver Patio.
Woohoo!
Yay! And as our Professor Plum, in looking lovely in shades of violet, we have Samantha Madison. Yay!
Category is monochromatic patterns for your nose.
Yes. Tens.
Woo!
So without further ado, I'm going to turn things over to Daniel, and we are going to get started. And yeah, it's weird to have a matinee. It feels really weird to be doing this in like the daylight.
Sure is daytime. Yeah.
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 I just went where I sat.
Yeah.
But it's good for me because I have time to prep for my week. So
Yes. Oh, very that.
this is
So,
actually great.
yes. So Daniel, without further ado, please take us away.
The opening credits appear over a sky growing stormy. Exterior, Wadsworth car, twilight. Wadsworth car travels through the wind of an oncoming storm. It pulls up to the gates of Hill House. Hill House is a large, imposing mansion looking very New England. Wadsworth takes out a key and unlocks the gate. He drives the car up to the front door. Exterior Hill House, front door. Wadsworth exits the car holding a bag and looking at the two barking guard dogs. The dogs approach Wadsworth, then jump. Wadsworth quickly pulls a big beef bone out of the bag and hurls it to them. The dogs trot away to gnaw on the bone as Wadsworth rolls up the bag. Wadsworth cinches their chain so it won't allow them to reach the door. He steps towards the door and sniffs. Wadsworth pauses and checks the bottom of his feet. Dog crap. He looks in disgust at the dogs, who aren't bothered at all, because they're dogs. Interior ground floor, the hall. The hall of Hill House is remarkable, elegant, but not gaudy. It is furnished in dark wood and brass with crystal chandeliers. There are several doors on each side of the hall and 3 at the end. To the left, lounge and dining room. To the right, study, library, and billiard room. The end, conservatory, ballroom, bathroom, and kitchen. Stairs are on the right. By the staircase is the door to the basement steps. We hear shake, rattle, and roll in the background. Wadsworth opens the front door of Hill House and wipes off his foot. He enters and hangs up his coat. Superimposed New England, 1954. Wadsworth steps briskly down the hall steps toward the library. Interior, ground floor library. The library is a somewhat more comfortable room than the hall, composed of dark colors. All the walls are covered with books, with the exception of one wall, a window. Yvette, a young and rather jiggly French maid, is polishing a glass. The music is much louder. Wadsworth enters and turns off the record player. The music stops. He speaks to the maid in a proper English accent.
We'll see. Is everything ready?
Yvette replies in a French accent.
Oui, monsieur.
You have your instructions?
Yvette nods. Wadsworth exits. Yvette sniffs the air, then examines the bottom of their shoes. Interior ground floor kitchen. The kitchen is white tile, narrow. There is a meat freezer to the right. A counter leads off to the left. Mrs. Ho, the cook, is sharpening a knife. Joseph McCarthy is speaking on the television in the background. Wadsworth enters.
Is everything all right, Mrs. Ho?
She turns, knife in hand.
Muted.
Mrs. Mute.
Dinner will be ready at 7:30.
Not even 5 minutes in, we got to mute.
We do it every time. We do it every
Every
time.
time.
It's important that it
Yay!
happens.
You
Leave it
got
to
to
the
mute.
Officially part of the group.
Yeah.
Welcome.
The doorbell rings. Wadsworth enters the kitchen. Exterior Hill House, front door, night. A man is standing by the front door, being growled at by the dogs. He is not comfortable. Interior ground floor, the hall. Wadsworth opens the door.
Good evening.
Good evening. I don't know if
Yes, indeed, madam. You are expected, Colonel. May I take your coat? It is Colonel Mustard, isn't it?
no, that's not my name. My name is Colonel.
Forgive me, ma'am, but tonight you may well feel obliged to my employer for the use of an alias. I can't do the accent.
That's enough.
Mustard sniffs around and checks his shoe as Wadsworth hangs his coat. The pair starts across the hall.
And who are you, ma'am?
I'm Wadsworth, ma'am, the butler.
Interior ground floor library. Yvette is present.
Yvette, will you attend to the Colonel and give him anything they require? Within reason, that is. These pronouns are a little mixed up.
Wadsworth exits, closing the doors behind them. The doors have books on the back of them, and so look like part of the wall.
Oh, Wadsworth, I was.
Mustard turns to discover the doors have disappeared. The bell rings. Exterior, Hill House, front door. Woman dressed in black stands there. Wadsworth opens the door. Interior, ground floor, wow. The hall.
Do come in. You are expected.
Know who I am?
Only that you are to be known as Mix White.
Yes, it said so in the letter, but why?
Wadsworth removes their coat with a brilliantly white inside. Mix White sniffs and checks their shoe. Interior, ground floor, library. Yvette and Colonel Mustard are here. Mustard is sipping cognac and glancing at Yvette. The door's open, the left one, into Colonel Mustard.
Ah, may I introduce you, Mix White? This is Yvette, the maid.
The two
Oh,
react with disgust.
I see you know each other.
Mix White turns away as Colonel Mustard emerges from behind the door.
Hello.
Hello.
Exterior, roadside. A slim person is standing by their broken down car. An owl can be heard. They hit the car, obviously frustrated. Thunder roars in the distance. They see headlights a short way away. They smooth their dress. As the car nears, they bend over the engine and lift a leg. The car screeches to a halt just past them and backs up. They go into the car and peer in.
Wanna lift?
Yes, please.
They get in. Interior, Plum's car.
Thanks. I'm late for a dinner date.
Me too. Where are you going?
They pull out a sheet of paper.
Let's see. House. Off Route 41.
Wait a minute. Let me look at that. That's where I'm going. I got a letter like this.
They both look disturbed. Exterior, car. The rain has started. The windshield wipers start as the car pulls away. Interior, ground floor library. We see a middle-aged woman.
And this is Mrs. Peacock.
Mute stirred.
How do you do?
Hello.
Oh, hey. I am. Oh, hey. Yvette, I was looking at the chat. Yvette, will you go and check that dinner will be ready as soon as all the guests have arrived?
Yvette nods. Mrs. Peacock stares disapprovingly at Yvette's exposed cleavage. Yvette exits the library. The doorbell rings. Exterior, Hill House, the front door. It is now raining quite hard. A woman is standing at the door, much like Colonel Mustard was. The dogs, of course, are growling. Wadsworth opens the door.
Is this the right address to meet Mr. Body?
Oh, you must be Ms. Green.
Yes.
Sit!
Green frantically sits on a bench by the door.
Not you, ma'am.
Ms. Green sheepishly gets up and enters the house. Interior, Plum's car.
It should be just over there.
Exterior, Hill House, view from the front gate. Back to the interior of Plum's car.
That must be it.
Exterior, Hill House, view from the front gate again. Lightning crashes, illuminating the house. Back into Plum's car.
Why is the car stopped?
It's frightened.
Exterior, Hill House, front gate again. The car is started again and it rolls up the driveway. Interior, ground floor, library. Lightning crashes, making Ms. Green gulp. Exterior, Hill House, front driveway. Plum and Scarlet exit their car and run for the front door. Plum shields Scarlet from the now heavy rain.
What a godforsaken place.
Plum squeezes one of Scarlet's buttocks. Scarlet shakes Plum's hand off, looking disgusted. The door opens, revealing Wadsworth.
Professor Plum and Mick Scarlet. I didn't realize you were acquainted.
We weren't.
They enter. Interior, ground floor, library. The doors open to reveal Professor Plum and Mick Scarlet.
May I present Professor Plum and Mick Scarlet?
Nods all around. Plum and Scarlet receive wine glasses from Yvette, whom Plum eyes. Professor Plum clinks glasses with Mick Scarlet, who looks annoyed.
Of course, since you've been addressed by a pseudonym, you'll realize that nobody here is being addressed by their real name.
The guests glance around suspiciously. Interior, ground floor, the hall. Mrs. Ho bangs a bong once, fiercely. Interior library. The gong is heard a second time. Ms. Green jumps at the sound, dumping her champagne on Mrs. Peacock.
Ah, dinner.
I'm sorry, I'm a little accident prone.
Interior, ground floor, the hall. The guests cross to the dining room. In the ground floor dining room, the dining room is elegant in similar decor to the hall, but it is somewhat more comfortable. However, the room is still small. At one end, there is a door and a metal partition, both leading to the kitchen. The guests file in.
You'll find your names beside your places. Please be seated.
The guests, except for Colonel Mustard, find their places and sit. Wadsworth sets Miss Scarlet's drink on the table to their pleasure.
Is this place for you?
Oh, indeed no, sir. I'm merely a humble butler.
And what exactly do you do?
I buttle, ma'am.
Which means what?
The butler is head of the kitchen and dining room. I keep everything tidy. That's all.
Colonel Mustard attempts to continue, but is interrupted by Mrs. Peacock.
Well, what's this all about, Butler, this dinner party?
Ours is not to reason why. Ours is but to do and die.
Die?
Merely quoting from Alfred Lord Tennyson.
I prefer Kipling myself. The female of the species is more deadly than the male. You like Kipling, Miss Scarlet?
Sure, I'll eat anything.
Yvette enters carrying a tray.
Shark fin soup, madame.
So, is this for our host?
No, ma'am. For the seventh guest, Mr. Body.
I thought Mr. Body was our host.
The guests all concur.
So who is our host, Wadsworth?
Wadsworth chuckles with a closed smile.
Well, I want to start while it's still hot.
Oh, now shouldn't we wait for the other guest?
I will keep something warm for him.
What did you have in mind, dear?
Silence. Professor Plum slurps soup from her spoon. McSwite disapproves, then does the same. Mustard, Scarlet, and Green stare at them, spoons poised near mouths. They do it again. Silence.
Well, someone's got to break the ice, and it might as well be me. I mean, I'm used to being a hostess. It's part of my husband's work. And it's always difficult when a group of new friends meet together for the first time to get acquainted, so I'm perfectly prepared to start the ball rolling. I mean, I have absolutely no idea what we're doing here, or what I'm doing here, or what this place is about, but I'm determined to enjoy myself, and I'm very intrigued, and oh my, the soup's delicious, isn't it?
Everyone sits bewildered.
You say you are used to being a hostess as part of your spouse's work?
Yes, it's an integral part of your life when you're the wife of a... Oh, and I forgot, we're not supposed to say who we really are. The heavens to Betsy, I don't know why.
Don't you?
I know who you are.
Aren't you going to tell us?
How do you know who I am?
I work in Washington too.
Oh, so you're a politician's wife.
Yes, I am.
Well, come on then. Who's your husband?
Suddenly, Wadsworth opens the door from the kitchen.
So what does your husband do?
Nothing.
Nothing.
Well, he just lies around on his back all day.
Sounds like hard work to me.
Yvette, in the kitchen, opens the partition suddenly. The noise coincides with a crash of thunder. Ms. Green, jumpy as ever, spills her drink again, this time on Miss Scarlet.
Sorry, I'm a little accident prone.
She starts to wipe off their upper chest.
Oh, watch it.
She stops. Yvette starts serving food.
Yvette.
C'est moi.
The guests start eating.
Mmm, this is one of my favorite recipes.
I know, madam.
So what are you doing in Washington, D.C., Miss Green? Come
No
on.
answer.
Sorry. Come on. What do you do? I mean, how are we to get acquainted if you don't say anything about ourselves?
Perhaps she does not want to get acquainted with you.
Well, I'm sure I don't know, but if I wasn't trying to get the conversation going, then we would just be sitting here in embarrassed silence.
Are you afraid of silence, Mrs. Peacock?
Yes, what? No, why?
Oh, it just seems to me that you seem to suffer from what we call pressure of speech.
We? Who's we? Are you a shrink?
I do know a little bit about psychological medicine, yes.
Are you a doctor?
I am, but I don't practice.
Practice makes perfect. Ha! I think most men need a little practice, don't you, Miss Peacock?
Peacock shrugs, very uncomfortable.
So, what do you do, Professor?
I work for UNO, the United Nations organization.
Another politician. Jesus.
No, I work for a branch of UNO, WHO, the World Health Organization. This aged well.
Mm-hmm. What is your area of special concern?
Family planning. What about you, Colonel? Are you a real colonel?
I am.
You're not going to mention the coincidence that you also live in Washington, D.C.?
How do you know that? Have we met before?
I've certainly seen you before, although you may have not seen me.
So, Miss Scarlet, does this mean that you live in Washington too?
Sure do.
Does anyone here not live in Washington, D.C.?
I don't.
Yes, but you work for United Nations. That's a government job. And the rest of us all live in a government town. Anyone here not earn their living from the government in one way or another?
Colonel Mustard stands suddenly.
Wadsworth, where's our host? And why have we been brought here?
The doorbell rings. Wadsworth exits. We hear the door opening, and Wadsworth speaks.
Ah, good evening. You're eagerly awaited.
You locking me in? I'll take the key.
Over my dead body, sir. May I take your bag?
No, I'll leave it here. Well, when I need it.
It contains evidence, I presume?
Surprise, my friend. That's all it contains, surprise.
Wadsworth enters the dining room, followed by the man.
Everyone, may I present Mr. Baldy?
What are they all doing here?
Eating dinner. Do sit down, Mr. Baldy.
Thanks.
Yvette starts to serve him.
No, you can take that away, honey.
Mrs. Peacock hits the table.
Look, I demand to know what is going on. Now, why have we all been dragged up to this horrible place?
Well, I believe we all received a letter. My letter says, it will be to your advantage to be present on this date because a Mr. Baldy will bring to an end a certain long-standing, confidential, and painful financial liability. It is signed a friend.
I received a similar letter.
So did we, didn't we?
I also received a letter.
Yvette starts to serve him again.
Oh, no thanks, Yvette. I just ate.
How do you know her name?
We've known each other, don't we, dear?
They recoil.
Forgive my curiosity, Mr. Baldy, but did your letter say the same thing?
No.
I see. Can I interest any of you in fruit or dessert?
No response.
In that case, may I suggest we adjourn to the study for coffee and brandy, at which I believe our unknown host will reveal their intentions.
Interior, ground floor, the study. The study is by far the most comfortable room we've seen so far. It is decorated in subdued tan colors. There are several couches, a bookshelf, a table with drinks, and a desk. The guests enter and look around for their host.
Oh, there's no one in here.
Please help yourself to brandy and be seated.
Wadsworth goes to the desk and takes a manila envelope. It reads, "For Wadsworth, open after dinner."
Mind if I smoke?
Professor Plum, seated next to Miss Scarlet, lights their cigarette. Wadsworth opens the envelope. She peruses the contents.
Everyone, I'm instructed to you what you have all in common with each other, unless you would care to do the honors, Mr. Baldy?
Why me? Everybody knows who I am.
I don't think so. You've never identified yourself to them, I believe.
Mr. Body stands suddenly.
It's a hoax. I suggest we will all leave.
Okay,
Takes-
Boomer.
He takes off out the study door.
I'm sorry, sir. You cannot leave this house.
Interior, ground floor, the hall. Mr. Body goes to the front door. Wadsworth follows and is followed by the other guest.
No, who's going to stop me?
There's no way out. All the windows have bars. All the doors are locked.
This is an outrage. You can't keep me up the prisoner.
The guests, in confusion, agree.
Everyone, please return to the study. Everything will be explained.
The guests file unhappily back to into the study. Mr. Body walks past Wadsworth towards the rear of the hall.
You too, Mr. Body.
Body starts running.
Other way!
Wadsworth pursues Mr. Body. The ground floor conservatory. Conservatory is humid with plants all around. 3 of the walls are brick and the 4th is glass, leading to the outside. The rain can be heard and seen against the glass. Mr. Body runs in, picks up a brick, and prepares to throw it through the glass. Wadsworth enters.
You can't get out that way.
Why not? It's only glass.
Suddenly, a vicious Doberman jumps at the glass, barking and snarling. Bobby drops the brick. Interior, ground floor, the study. The guests are already present. Wadsworth and Mr. Body enter. Wadsworth takes up the envelope again.
Everyone, please. You all have one thing in common. You're all being blackmailed. For some considerable time, all of you have been paying what you can afford, and in some cases, more than you can afford, to someone who threatens to expose you. And none of you know who's blackmailing you, do you?
Oh, please, I've never heard anything so ridiculous in my life. I mean, nobody could blackmail me. My life is an open book. I've never done anything wrong.
Anybody else wish to deny it? Very well. As everyone here is in the same boat, there's no harm in my revealing some details, and my instructions are to do so. Thank you, Yvette. Oh, we can't hear you.
Dang it, my mic.
There we go.
The maid, so dismissed, leaves. Mr. Body's eyes follow them out.
What do you think? You might spare us this humiliation?
I'm sorry, Professor Plum. You were once a professor of psychiatry specializing in helping paranoid and homicidal lunatics suffering from delusions of grandeur.
Yes, but now I work for the United Nations.
So your work has not changed. But you don't practice medicine at the UN. Their license has been lifted, correct?
Why? What'd they do?
You know what doctors aren't supposed to do with their patients?
Yeah.
Well, she did.
Oh, how disgusting.
Are you making moral judgments, Mrs. Peacock? How then do you justify taking bribes in return for delivering your husband, Senator Peacock's votes to a certain lobbyist?
My husband is a paid consultant. There's nothing wrong with that.
Not if it's publicly declared, perhaps, but if the payment is delivered by slipping used greenbacks in plain envelopes under the door of the men's room, how would you describe that transaction?
I'd say it stinks.
Oh, how would you know? Where were you in that men's room?
So it's true.
No, it's a vicious lie.
I'm sure we're all glad to hear that, but you've been paying blackmail for over a year to keep that story out of the papers.
Well, I'm willing to believe you. I, too, am being blackmailed for something I didn't do.
Me too.
And me.
Not me.
You're not being blackmailed?
Oh, I'm being blackmailed, all right. But I did what I'm being blackmailed for.
What'd you do?
Well, to be perfectly frank, I run a specialized hotel and a telephone service which provide people with the company of a young person for a short while.
Oh, yeah? What's the phone number?
McScarlet rolls their eyes.
So how did you know Colonel Mustard works in Washington? Is he one of your clients?
Certainly not.
I was asking Mick Scarlet.
Well, You tell them it's not true.
It's not true.
Is that true?
No, it's not true.
Aha, so it is true.
A double negative.
Double negative? You mean you have photographs?
That sounds like a confession to me. In fact, the double negative has led to proof positive. I'm afraid you gave yourself away.
Are you trying to make me look stupid in front of the other guests?
You don't need any help from me, ma'am.
That's right.
Mustard realizes what she's just said.
But seriously, I don't see what's so terrible about Colonel Mustard visiting a house of ill fame. Most soldiers do, don't they?
Please.
But she holds a sensitive security post in the Pentagon. And, Colonel, you do drive a very expensive car for someone who lives on a colonel's pay.
I don't. I came into money during the war when I lost my mommy and daddy.
Wadsworth is puzzled but soon recovers.
Mix White, you've been paying our friend in blackmail ever since your husband died under, shall we say, mysterious circumstances.
Mix Scarlet laughs.
Why is that funny?
I see. That's why he was laying on his back. In his coffin.
I didn't kill him.
Then why are you paying the blackmailer?
I don't want a scandal, do I? We had a very humiliating public confrontation. He was deranged, lunatic. He didn't actually seem to like me very much. He had threatened to kill me in public.
What do you want to kill you in public?
I think what they meant, he threatened in public to kill them.
Oh. And was that the final word on the matter?
Being killed is pretty final, wouldn't you say?
And yet he was the one who died, not you, Mix White. Not you. Why am I saying wife?
And what did he do for a living?
He was a scientist, nuclear physics.
What was he like?
He was always a rather stupidly optimistic man. I mean, I'm afraid it came as a great shock to him when he died, but he was found dead at home. His head had been cut off, and so had his...
Those assigned male at birth in the room crossed their legs.
I had been out all evening and at the movies.
Do you miss him?
Well, it's some matter of life after death. Now that he's dead, I have a life.
But he was your second husband. Your first husband also disappeared.
Oh, but that was his job. He was an illusionist.
But he never reappeared.
He wasn't a very good illusionist.
I have something to say. I'm not going to wait for Wadsworth here to unmask me. I work for the State Department, and I am a homosexual.
Wadsworth,
Yeah, you are.
Wadsworth, wide-eyed, looks for Green's file. Mrs. Peacock clucks in disgust.
I feel no personal shame about this, but I must keep it a secret or I will lose my job on security grounds. Thank you.
Ms. Green sits back down next to Professor Plum, who rapidly stands and walks away.
I would never.
You wish you could.
Well, that just leaves Mr. Body.
What's your little secret?
His secret? Oh, hadn't you guessed? He's the one who's blackmailing you all.
Lightning crashes. Mr. Body looks very satisfied.
You bastard!
The guests advance on Mr. Body as he stands. Colonel Mustard challenges Mr. Body to fight, boxing style.
Put him up!
Mr. Body steps on the Colonel's toes and pokes her in the eyes.
Folks.
You can't fight fairly? Don't fight at all!
Calls me a bastard.
Ms. Green and the others try to separate them as Colonel Mustard recovers and Mr. Body goes for her. Mix White decides to take matters into their own hands and knees Mr. Body in the crotch.
Was that necessary, Mix White?
Wait! The police are coming!
The guests disapprove.
ACAB, that's why.
You beat me to it.
Listen,
Grumble, grumble, mumble, grumble.
blackmail depends on secrecy. You've all admitted how he's been able to blackmail you all. all you have to do is tell the police, he'll be convicted, and your troubles will all be over.
Oh, it's not so easy. You'll never tell the.
Then I shall. I have evidence in my possession, and this conversation is being tape recorded.
Interior ground floor in the billiard room. Yvette is in the billiard room, drinking cognac and listening to a tape recorder that is indeed recording.
Point of order. Tape recordings are not admissible evidence.
Back in the study, general confusion ensues.
Folks, the police will be here in about 45 minutes. Tell them the truth, and Mr. Bodie will be behind bars.
Mr. Bodie goes for the hall. Wadsworth stops them.
Where are you going this time?
I think I can help them make up their mind. Can I just get my little bag from the hall?
Bodie exits. In the hall, Mr. Bodie gets his bags from by the front door. Back in the study, Mr. Bodie opens his luggage.
Who can guess what's in here, eh?
The evidence against us, no doubt.
Mr. Bodie chuckles. He starts handing out boxes, each with a different size and shape.
We didn't know we were meeting you tonight. Did you know you were meeting us?
Oh, yeah.
Mix mute.
What were you
Mixed
told
frozen?
precisely?
Merely that you were all meeting to discuss our financial agreement. And if I did not appear, Wadsworth would have informed the police about it all. Naturally, I could hardly resist pulling in an appearance.
He finishes handing out the packages.
Excuse me. Open them.
Why not? I enjoy getting presents from strange folks.
Scarlet opens their package. A candlestick.
A candlestick? This could be fun. What's this for?
Mix White opens their box and reveals a rope tied in a noose. Ms. Green takes her box in one hand. She opens it and lets the content fall into her other hand, a bent lead pipe. Colonel Mustard opens her box and pulls out a heavy wrench. Professor Plum takes the lid off her package and looks in. Gingerly, she pulls out a revolver. Finally, the camera reveals Mrs. Peacock, who is twirling a dagger.
In your hand, you each have a lethal weapon.
Mr. Bodie walks on camera and continues.
You denounce. Oh,
We can hear you. You're good.
We can hear you.
Back.
oh, sorry.
You're good.
It's can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. If you denounce me to the police, you will be exposed to humiliating. I'll see to that. I'll see to that in court. But if you like kills Wadsworth now,
Wadsworth's eyes widen in shock.
no one but the sum of us will know. She will have the key to the front door, which she said would only be open over her dead body. I suggest you will take her up on the offer.
Mr. Bodie goes over to the light switch with deliberate ease. It closes the door to the hall and sets his drink down.
The only way to avoid finding yourselves on the front pages is for one of you kills Wadsworth. Now!
He turns off the lights. We hear noises. Someone inhales raspily. A gunshot. Something ceramic shatters. A scream. The lights go up. We turn prone on the floor.
It's not Wadsworth.
Talk.
Stand back. Give them air. Let me see. They're dead.
Who had the gun?
I did.
And you shot him.
I didn't.
Peacock would be someone to accuse the random black lady. Well, if you had the gun, if you didn't shoot him, then who did?
Mr. Bodie is turned over.
Nobody. Look, there's no gunshot wound. Somebody tried to grab the gun from me in the dark and the gun went off. Look, the bullet broke that vase on the mantle.
Everyone rushes for the mantle simultaneously, causing yet more confusion.
She's absolutely right. Look, there's a bullet hole here in the wall. See that?
Ms. Green grabs Professor Plum by the lapels.
How did he die?
I don't know. I'm not a forensic expert.
Well, one of us must have killed him.
Well, I didn't do it.
Oh, I need a drink.
She goes to the door and gets Mr. Body's cognac. She sips.
Maybe they were poisoned.
Mrs. Peacock drops the glass in revulsion and starts to scream. She won't stop. Ms. Green takes her to a sofa, offering words of comfort. She sits, but won't stop screaming. Ms. Green slaps her.
I had to stop her from screaming.
Even wanted to do that, admit it.
I'll admit it.
Was the brandy poisoned?
I don't know.
All the cognac is spilled out. Looks like we'll never know.
Unless she dies too.
They all rush over to scrutinize Mrs. Peacock. A scream erupts from another room. The guests gasp. They run from the study into the hall. In the hall, the guests run to the door of the billiard room. Ms. Green tries it.
It's locked.
Open up!
It must be the murderer.
Why would they scream?
They must have a victim in there. Oh my God, Yvette!
Oh my God.
Oh my God!
God.
Oh my God.
They're eating her, and they're gonna
you
eat
guys.
me!
Oh my God!
What is happening?
The door's open, getting back on track.
Oh, it just growed troll 2, yes.
In the billiard room, the guests pour in.
You're alive!
No thanks to you.
What do you mean?
You locked me up with a murderer, you idiot.
So the murderer is in this room.
My oui.
But where?
Where? Here.
Ms. Green looks behind the door.
We are looking at him. Or air. It's what makes right in this study. One of you is a killer.
How did you know we said that?
I was listening.
But why were you in here screaming all by yourself?
Because I am frightened. Me too. I also drink the cognac. Won't you? I can't stay in here by myself.
Rick Scarlet and Colonel Mustard go to Yvette.
Come back to the study with us.
With the murderer?
There's safety in numbers, my dear.
The guests leave the room. After they are gone, Wadsworth takes the tape off of the spools. Back in the study.
Is there no indication of how they died?
No.
This is terrible. This is absolutely terrible. This is not what I intended. Oh my God.
Not what you intended?
So you're not the butler?
I'm not the butler, but I am a butler. In fact, I was his butler.
So if they told you to invite us to their house, why did they arrive late?
I invited you. In fact, I wrote the letters. It was all my idea.
Wait a minute. I don't understand. Why did you invite us here to meet your late employer? Were you assisting them to blackmail us?
Certainly not.
I think you had better explain.
Please sit down, everyone.
Everyone sits but Ms. Green. She searches for a spot, but no one gives it to her. She ends up leaning against a serving table.
When I said that I was Mr. Body's butler, this was both true and misleading. I was once his butler, but it was not his untimely death this evening that brought my employment with them to an end.
When did it come to an end?
When my wife decided to end her life. She too was being blackmailed by this odious man who now lies dead before us. He hated my wife for the same reason he hated all of you. He believed that you were all thoroughly un-American.
Ms. Green's serving table gives way, landing her and several pieces of crystal on the floor.
Sorry.
For some reason, he felt it was inappropriate for a senator to have a corrupt wife or a doctor to take advantage of his patients, for a wife to emasculate her husband, and so forth.
But this is ridiculous. If he was such a patriotic American, why didn't he just report us to the authorities?
He decided to put his information to good use and make a little money out of it. What could be more American than that?
And what was your role in all of this?
I was a victim too. At least my wife was. She had friends who were socialists.
Gasps and muttering from several guests, the most vocal of whom is Mrs. Peacock.
We all make mistakes.
Mix White pulls a tissue from their bra and gives it to her.
But Mr. Bodie threatened to give my wife's name to the House of Un-American Activities Committee unless she named them. She refused, and so he blackmailed her. We had no money, and the price of his silence was that we worked for him for nothing. We were slaves. Well, to make a long story short,
Too late.
the suicide of my wife preyed on my mind and created a sense of injustice in me. I resolved to put Mr. Bodie behind bars. It seemed the best way to do it, and to free all of you from the same burden of my blackmail, was to get everyone face to face, confront Mr. Bodie with his crimes, and then turn him over to the police.
So everything is explained.
Nothing is explained. We still know who killed him.
Well, the point is, we've got to find him in the next 39 minutes before the police arrive.
My God, we can't have them come here ever. Now, but especially now.
But how can we possibly find out which of you did it?
What do you mean, which of y'all?
Well, I didn't do it.
Well, one of us did. We all have the opportunity. We all had a motive.
Great. We'll all go to the chair.
Maybe it wasn't one of us.
Well, who else could it have been?
Who else is in this house?
Only the
Only the cook.
The cook!
Interior ground floor, the hall. The party runs from the study to the kitchen. In the kitchen, they all get stuck in the door, except for Ms. Green. She steps down into the kitchen and looks around.
Well, she's not here.
The door to the freezer starts to open. Mick Scarlet screams. The cook's body tumbles out into Ms. Green's arms. She now has the dagger sticking out of her back. Mrs. Ho was not and is not a light woman. She's having difficulty holding her.
Somebody help me, please. Somebody help me, please.
Several guests go to help. One of them reaches for the knife.
Don't touch it. That's evidence.
Not for us. We have to find out who did this. We can't take fingerprints.
I think you'd better explain yourself, Wadsworth.
Me? Why me?
Who would want to kill the cook?
Dinner wasn't that bad.
How can you make jokes at a time like this?
It's my defense mechanism.
Some defense. If I was the killer, I'd kill you next.
Oh.
I said, if.
Okay, OJ.
Hey, come on. There is only one admitted killer here, and it is certainly not me. It's them.
She points at Mix White.
I've admitted nothing.
Well, you paid the blackmail. How many husbands have you had?
Mine or other people's.
Yours.
5.
5.
Yes, just the 5. Husbands should be like Kleenex. Soft, strong, and disposable.
You lure men to their death like a spider with flies.
Flies are where men are most vulnerable, darling.
Right.
Again, she realizes what she just said.
Well, if it wasn't you, then who was it? Who had the dagger anyway? It was you, Miss Peacock, wasn't it?
Yes, but I put it down.
Where?
In the study.
When?
I don't know. Before I faint, after I faint, I don't know. But any of you could have picked it up.
Look, I suggest we take the cook's body into the study.
Why?
I'm the butler, and I'd like to keep the kitchen tidy.
Back in the study, the camera faces the door that leads from the study to the hall. Several guests are carrying the cook's body into the study, effectively blocking off the view.
Look,
What?
the body's gone.
Mrs. Ho is dropped.
What are you all staring at?
Nothing.
Well, who's there?
Nobody.
Nobody. No body. That's what we meant. Mr. Body's body is gone.
Maybe he wasn't dead.
He was.
We should have made sure.
How? By cutting off his head, I suppose.
That was uncalled for.
Where is he?
We better look for him.
They look around.
Well, he couldn't have been dead.
But he was. At least I thought he was. But what difference does it make now?
I'm sure it makes quite a difference to him. Maybe there is life after death.
Oh, life after death is as improbable as sex after marriage.
Maybe Mr. Body killed the cook.
Yes.
Yes.
How?
Ms. Green is at a loss.
Well, if you'll excuse me, I have to, is there a gender-neutral restroom?
Oui, madame.
No, I just want to powder my nose. Thank you.
Yvette is bewildered. Mrs. Peacock steps over Mrs. Ho's corpse into the hall. Mick Scarlet, wandering around, picks up something.
What's this, Wadsworth?
I'm afraid those are negatives to which Mr. Colonel, to which
Mr. Colonel!
Mr. Colonel, Colonel Mustard earlier referred.
Oh my God.
Were you planning to blackmail them, Wadsworth?
Certainly not. I'd obtained them for the Colonel, and I was going to give them back as soon as Mr. Body was unmasked.
Very pretty. Would you like to see these, Yvette? They might shock you.
No, merci. I'm a lady.
Oh, and how do you know what kind of pictures they are if you're such a lady?
I was proud of that.
What sort of pictures are they?
They're my pictures, and I'd like them back, please.
No, I'm afraid there's something in them that concerns me too.
Professor Plum snatches the pictures and holds them up to the light. They are pictures of Spider-Man.
I knew it.
This is even better. The next line's even better. Go ahead.
Let me see.
Oh, my. Nobody can get in that position.
Spider-Man can.
Yeah.
It's true.
Sure they can. Let me show you.
Plum
Oh,
starts to demonstrate with Mick's wife on the couch.
Get off me.
Interior ground floor in the hall rear. Mrs. Peacock opens the door to the bathroom. She screams.
Ah!
of course.
Mr. Body's body falls out and lands into her outstretched arms. He is almost certainly dead now. His head is bloody. The party runs out to help her.
Mr. Body!
He's attacking her.
They pull the corpse off of Mrs. Peacock.
Well, he's dead, Jim.
Mr. Body, dead. Again.
Oh my God.
She's going to faint.
Somebody catch her.
I'll catch you. Fall into my arms.
She slips right through.
Sorry.
Got blood on your hands.
I didn't do it.
He's got new injuries.
He picks up Mr. Body's arm and lets it fall again.
Well, he's certainly dead now. Why would anyone want to kill him twice?
It seems so necessary.
What we call overkill.
It's what we call psychotic.
Unless he wasn't dead before.
What's the difference?
That's what we're trying to find out. We're trying to find out who killed him and where and with what.
First of all, lower your voice. There is no need to shout.
I'm not shouting. All right, I am. I'm shouting. I'm shouting. I'm shouting.
At which point, the candlestick, which had been nestled above the bathroom door, falls and hits her on the head. Wadsworth hits the floor. Interior, ground floor of the study. Mrs. Peacock has evidently recovered somewhat. The guests bring both bodies over. They make groans of exertion. Colonel Mustard is issuing orders.
Okay, put the corpses on the sofa. Ladies first.
More sounds of exertion. They plot the toe on the sofa. Wadsworth enters, holding ice to their head.
Careful, don't get blood on the sofa.
How do we do this? The dagger will go further into the back.
Tip them forward over the arm.
They do so.
Now, Mr. Body.
More sounds of exertion. Colonel Mustard nods. Professor Plum is stuck on the couch between the two corpses. Rather than move, she decides to make herself comfortable.
Now, who had access to the candlestick?
It was given to Mick Scarlet.
Yeah, but I dropped it on the table. Anyone could have picked it up. You, them.
Wadsworth starts going around the room, picking up the weapons.
Look, we still have all these weapons. The gun, the rope, the wrench, the lead pipe. Let's put them all in this cupboard and lock it. There's a homicidal maniac about.
What are you doing with the key?
Putting it in my pocket.
Why?
Well, to keep it safe, obviously.
That means you can open it whatever you want.
But it also means you can't.
What if you are the murderer?
I'm not.
But what if you are?
Well, it's got to be put somewhere, and if I've got it, I know I'm safe.
We don't know that we are.
I have an idea. We'll throw it away.
Party agrees. Interior, ground floor, the hall, and the foyer. Wadsworth opens the door and prepares to throw the key out. Waiting outside the door is a man who ducks, thinking Wadsworth is about to hit him. The butler quickly recovers and pockets the key. The rest of the party runs up behind them.
Sorry. Sorry. Can we help?
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to disturb the whole household, but my car broke down out here, and I was wondering if I could use your phone.
Just a moment, please.
The party huddles together and discusses it. The motorist looks rather confused. After a time,
Rhubarb.
Grubble, grubble, grubble.
After a time, the group turns to the motorist.
Very well, sir. Could you come in? Would you care to come in?
Well, where is it?
What, the body?
The phone. What body?
Oh, well, there's no body. There's nobody. There's nobody in the study.
No.
No.
But I think there's a phone in the lounge.
Thank you.
In the lounge, Wadsworth leads the motorist inside and indicates the phone.
When you finish your call, please, perhaps you'd be good enough to wait here.
It's not a question.
Certainly.
Wadsworth exits the lounge. Back in the hall, Wadsworth closes the door to the lounge and locks it. Colonel Mustard comes up behind her and puts a hand on her shoulder. Wadsworth yells in fright.
Ah!
Where's the key?
In my pocket.
Not that key. The key to the cupboard with the weapons.
Do you still wish me to throw it away?
Yes.
Yes.
Exterior Hill House in the front. Wadsworth takes the key from her pocket and throws it. We see it land on the cement and bounce into the foliage. Interior ground floor in the hall. Wadsworth closes the door.
Well, what now?
Wadsworth, let me out.
No.
Why not?
We've got to know who did it. We're all in this together now.
If you leave, I'll say you killed them both.
General agreement among the guests.
Yeah.
Mix White rubs against Wadsworth.
Oh, Wadsworth, I'll make you sorry you ever started this. One day when we are alone together.
Mick's wife, no one in their right mind would be alone together with you.
Well, I could use a drink.
General agreement again.
Yeah, margarita man.
Umph.
Colonel Mustard goes to the study and looks in.
Just checking.
Everything all right?
Yep, 2 corpses. Everything's fine.
Interior of the library. Colonel Mustard is pouring herself a tall glass of whiskey.
Anyone else want a whiskey?
Yes.
Colonel Mustard fills the three other glasses at once, spilling the drink over the table.
All right, look. Pay attention, everybody. Wadsworth, am I right in thinking there is nobody else in this house?
No.
Then there is someone else in this house.
No, sorry. I said no, meaning yes.
No, meaning yes. Look, I want a straight answer. Is there someone else or isn't there? Yes or no?
No.
No, there is, or no, there isn't?
Yes.
Mix White breaks their glass against the fireplace.
Please, don't you think we should get that man out of the house before he finds out what's been going on here?
They toss the remains of their glass into the air. It shatters on the hearth.
Yeah.
How could we throw him outside in this weather?
If we let him stay in the house, he might get suspicious.
If we throw him out, he may get even more suspicious.
If I were him, I'd be suspicious already.
Oh, who cares? That guy doesn't matter. Let him stay locked up there for another half an hour. The police will be here by then, and there are 2 dead bodies in the study.
Well, there is still some confusion as to whether or not there is anybody in the house.
I told you there isn't.
There isn't any confusion, or there isn't anybody else.
Either or both.
Just give me a clear answer.
I can't see because it says Dan Cook. Certainly. What was the question?
Is there anybody else in the house?
No!
That's what she says. But does she know? I suggest we handle this in proper military fashion. We split up and search the house.
Split up?
Yes. We have very little time left, so we'll split up into pairs.
Pairs?
Yes.
Wait a minute. Suppose that one of us is the murderer. If we split up into pairs, whichever one is left with the killer might get killed.
Then we would discover who the murderer is.
But the other half of the pair would be dead.
This is war, Peacock. Casualties are inevitable. You can't without breaking eggs. Every cook would tell you that.
But look what happened to the cook.
Colonel, are you willing to take that chance?
What choice do we have?
None.
I suppose you're right.
Bondico, but it is dark upstairs and I'm frightened of the dark. Will you want to go with me?
I will.
I will.
No, thank you.
I got lost. Okay. I suggest we all draw lots for partners.
Takes long matchsticks from near the fireplace. Interior ground floor in the kitchen. Wadsworth is using a knife to cut the long matchsticks into different lengths. She prepares them in her hand so the match's lengths can't be seen.
Ready? The 2 shortest together and the next 2 shortest together. Agreed? And I suggest the 2 shortest search the cellar and so on up.
The guests approach the butler. Colonel Mustard picks a matchstick. It's relatively short. Mrs. Peacock picks hers. Mustard and Peacock compare. Mustard's is longer. Mick Scarlet picks their matchstick with a jerk. Ms. Green reaches over Mick Scarlet's shoulder and gets her matchstick. It's one of the uncut sticks. Colonel Mustard and Ms. Green compare. It's not even close. Yvette selects their stick. It's another long one. Colonel Mustard and Mick Scarlet compare. They match, putting them together on the ground floor. Mick Scarlet looks disgusted. Mix White selects theirs. In the background, the party tries to match sticks. Professor Plum picks her matchstick. Wadsworth takes what is left. Mix White steps up to Wadsworth and pairs their matchstick. They're going to the second floor. Professor Plum walks by Yvette and a distraught Ms. Green, who are going to the attic together. Plum matches cellar matchsticks with Mrs. Peacock.
You and me, honey bunch.
And scene. So we're going to take a short little break. We'll be back about 2:15-ish, and we'll get into Act 2. And yeah, so yeah.
Are you having fun, Ducky? Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Are you having fun?
Yes. I thought you were saying someone else's name, not Ducky. I just realized that.
You're my only, well, you're Ducky. I think Dad and Ann are watching. That's fun. This is still live. So this, I think people still see this. But yeah, Dad and Ann are watching. Fun.
Awesome. Hi.
Okay, I'm gonna go away and
Yeah, I have to too.
and put my hair up.
You always fancy. You always fancy. Also, I realized the reason that this thing wasn't fitting and I had to hide it with a fur is because I realized I hadn't zipped it up all the way. And as soon as I zipped it up, it's like, let's just inch everything together.
Love it.
Yes. Also,
Over goal.
what? What?
We're over goal now.
Wait, This is why I'm wondering why my internet exists in a dead zone now. Oh, y'all took us over goal. God damn it. Thank you. Who now I gotta look at math. Yep. Perfect. Oh, you guys are so good. Sean, you get a shout out because I think you took us over goal, but still.
Yeah, I think Kelsey got us there.
And you just, it'll work. Also, I'll tell y'all now, and y'all can start thinking while everybody starts to come back. Ginger, we're over goal by $10.
Woo!
So I'll obviously announce that when we have the whole group back. I want to, since I'm not promoting anything since we're taking the pause, start thinking of your favorite memories that we've had over this year, because we're gonna go around like first day at college.
Oh Lord.
That's my career.
Yeah. Kelsey, thank you for taking us to goal. Sean, thank you for taking us over goal. Woo, woo, woo. Also, this dress fits now because it's zipped right.
Yay!
Good job, sweetie. Good job.
Proud of you.
I feel like Peppa LaBeija with these shoulder pads.
Peppa
Peppa LaBeija. Sam, you need to come over and watch Legendary with me. It's
okay.
voguing.
So don't hate me, nobody, because first I wish I would. Anyways,
Who can hate you?
No, there is something about Legendary that is not palatable to me, and I don't know what it is.
Oh, it's a full appropriation of the culture.
Yeah, I don't know if it's the cis hetero lens for me, and this is coming from a cis hetero person.
Yeah.
And it feels very America's Best Dance Crew.
Yes and no. Like I will say,
it gives me that.
Like I will say, it's definitely got problems because at least in the first season, Jamila was kind of like the de facto host, and that was not okay. But in the second season, they've included a lot more trans and non-binary folk, and it feels more like a ballroom show than hey, let's just show people voguing for 40 minutes. I enjoy it though. So
I remember when they announced that show, I was worried about it because like the only person they attached was Jamila, and I was like, I don't know about that, but I'm glad it's like good and not.
It's definitely my serotonin release. I will say that Jamila probably shouldn't be on that panel, and I still agree with Trace Lissette throwing her gauntlet down around this time last year. Dried response, yeah. All right,
I'll give it another try. It just wasn't when I first tried to watch the first season.
Mm-hmm.
Second
season's a lot better because it's not just chops and 10. It's not just chops and 10s. They actually score them.
Yeah. So it was a lot.
All right, I'm gonna get a beer real quick because I'm celebrating. We for anyone who's not here, we're over goal. So.
Woo!
Yeah.
So.
Look at us go.
Last week was Tech Week for me. I was having, for those who do not know, I'm back gigging again. And this past week was my first time in a theater. In I don't know how long. So
what are you in?
So I'm in a production with the Black Rep, which is for those that are not from St. Louis, it's a local Black ran theater company in St. Louis. I want to say it's the largest Black ran theater company. That's what I want to say. And yeah, so it'll be we did taping last week, so it is a virtual show.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but I will let y'all know.
What show?
It's called Do I Move You? It's a collection of poems that are inspired by the life of Louis Jordan, Donny Hathaway, and Marvin Gaye.
Yes, here for that.
Lovely.
Yeah, so there's going to be monologues and some singing and some dancing in there. So yeah.
Yay.
Clara,
So
Clara
I'm
had
not.
her dance
So I
recital.
say is that it's pretty known for most, especially the alcoholic one like me. We drink throughout all.
Mhm.
Stressful.
Absolutely, you gotta. You're there for 800 hours. You gotta.
So I'm on.
Yes.
I think I drank like 5 days straight. I was like, this is hard.
That's fair. That's very fair. Welcome back, everybody. I can start by saying that Sean and Kelsey got us to and over our $500 goal. So yay to that. That does not mean that you should not be donating if you have not already, because MTUG does some really incredible and amazing work in the St. Louis area for trans people who are constantly at risk in this state, because fuck Missouri and fuck my person. Take the stream down. I don't care. We've raised the goal. Take the stream down.
Fuck all the dangerous white men.
Yes.
Come and get me, Mike Parsons. Take my stream down.
Yeah, like do it. I really feel like Tiffany. Do it.
Let me, bitch.
Yes, all of that. But
that was great, actually.
Yes, but MTUG does so much good work. I think at least half of this group has had their lives impacted, affected, or helped by MTUG in some way, shape, or form. So please give if you can. I have nothing to promote because this is our last one for a hot minute. We're going to put the pause on because CDC is saying, hey, go outside, go play outside, kids, with your masks on still. But before we get started into Act 2, I'm going to go around college style and just kind of talk about people's favorite memories that they've had so far. Kale, I'm sorry, this is going to be yours by default. But let's start with Kelsey. What's been your favorite thing with the players?
Gosh, my favorite thing is kind of intangible. My favorite thing is having something to look forward to, which is something a lot of us didn't really have for the last year. I had so much planned for 2020. Am I having feelings? I'm having feelings.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Oh God, don't you do it.
Don't do it.
I'm not here for that, please.
I had so much planned for 2020, and of course all of it got paused or moved forward or whatever. And this was something that I could be like, this is something I can do. It's going to be fun. It's within my, my wheelhouse. Getting attention is my favorite thing. So you get it, Sam.
You can't say that having given you plenty of affirmation now.
I don't know what words you just said.
You can't say that I haven't given you plenty of affirmation now.
That's true. What is plenty? I don't know.
Yeah. Luke. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
No, I was done. The intangibleness of having something to look forward to.
Yeah, fair. Luke, favorite memories, moments. Tell us.
Oh, goodness. Yeah, this was my introduction to most of these people here. I'm hoping to bring that forwards into Meat Space.
PlayerCon!
As the kids say. But just been a great opportunity to meet people, and as someone who has actually benefited from this, I'm still incredibly thankful for when y'all raised money for me when I was out of a job. You're gonna ruin my makeup just thinking about it, but yeah.
Yeah. That makes that. See, now you get me all verklempt. Damn it! And I did not use waterproof this morning because I grabbed whatever I could find.
No feelings.
No feelings. We're not allowed.
Okay. Feelings time is over.
Feelings time is over. Daniel, you're up.
Well, as far as intangible things, Luke kind of stole my answer in that, most of you I had not met until we started doing this, and I've made a shocking number of new friends in a year where I wasn't allowed to go outside. And as far as non-sappy answers, Jonathan destroying recording space during
that last 5 minutes. That last 5 minutes was that was just purest of the pure serotonin. That was uncut serotonin straight from the source.
Oh my God, that was
and we all just snorted it. Just yes. I will actually, Kale, are you having a good time now? And if you've watched any of our other stuff, you're more than welcome to chime in on that as well.
I watched a couple at the very beginning without Kelsey noticing. But I do enjoy it, and I'm really happy that I actually be able to be a part of this as well right now. So even though I'm always crazy busy for my job since I work at the hospital, so I've been right there, right at the front lines all year round. So
And we
doing stuff
really
like this
appreciate
actually help
you.
out. Thank you.
You're here.
Yes, absolutely.
Kelsey, none of that.
None of that, Kelsey. She's vanishing in front of the green screen. Elizabeth, you're up.
I just really like my brother.
No, that's good. Stop. Right now.
I'd say the connection, especially I think my first one was Breakfast Club, I want to say.
Yes, it was.
I had a scene with Sean, I believe. I can't remember what it was or anything, but there was just a really nice connection at a time where, we had no connections outside of our homes. And then also when I did Wallflower and had that connection with Danny, and it's just really nice to be able to connect with people outside of your home when there's so little of that last year. And also being able to help my trans siblings, because I love you guys so much, and I love any opportunity to reach out to you guys.
We love you. Sean, you're up.
Yeah. So many things. I think on the creative theater side, watching costuming and performance decisions, Jonathan's room will forever and always be embedded in my soul to so many different pieces. I think creating some friendships and finding new connections. I think for me, and in a moment of vulnerability and personalness, doing this allowed me to explore gender and kind of moved from cis to not cis. And so being able to play Trinity and fuck with gender in that space
and fuck with us in the chat.
And it forever and always will love Samantha for Muteus. I think really Star Trek was really the first one where I was like, I'm gonna go there and it's gonna be out public. So this space has allowed me to not only create friends, but also create connections with myself. And I thank you all for that.
Oh, Ginger, I got stuff to say to you, but talk.
I'm already tearing, and this sucks. So my favorite read ever was The Room, but not only because it was fucking hilarious and oh my god, I loved so much of it, but because I got to see the fruits of our labor last week when Ray Ray got her name changed. We did something tangible in that we got her name changed. That was such a big moment for me. I'm if nothing else, we did that, so all of that little, getting to see the little good things that we've been able to bring forth, just being silly and having fun. So yeah.
Samantha, our resident diva.
It's definitely the costume changes for me.
Oh
yes. That wears Prada, nobody beats her on those.
Yeah, being Miranda Priestley is the dream
/ Felicia Rashad.
Yeah.
It's like her. Oh my goodness.
It's the dream of all dreams. And seriously, if there is footage of this and it circulates and it finds its way to Meryl Streep and Meryl Streep ever fucking reacts to it, I'm going to fucking die. I'm going to fucking motherfucking die. Okay.
Agreed.
Oh, that's a lot of cussing for a Sunday. I'm sorry, Lord. That's a lot. But that has always been fun. And just, being in a platform, and I know that we've all had our own collective and private conversations about what has been going on, not just in terms of COVID, but with racial injustice and civil rights and things like that. And I was just I'm just so very happy that I have a platform and a group that supports, me being able to speak out freely and openly about what's impacting Black and brown people in this country.
Absolutely.
So that means a lot to me. And just for thank y'all for just putting up with my obnoxious Black ass. I appreciate that. So,
I'm here for it. I'm still here for when you froze during Steel Magnolias and you were just the face was shit, halfway through it the battery died.
Oh yeah. Sometimes I'd be on such a roll and then I'd be like,
yep.
Brain fart.
Yep. Cadaver.
I'm just okay. Well, you did. Y'all said my 2 favorite moments of stream so far, which were definitely all of the room and Perks of being a wallflower, because the energy of the room was such a blast, and I had so much fun. And also, Perks of being a wallflower made me cry and lay prone for a bit afterwards. It was a blast. I love that we've been able to help so many people and come together, even if it doesn't feel like that. Because to me, this is just a fun thing. We're hanging out with our friends. This is obviously, the quarantine has been super isolating. I started transitioning about the same time it started. So it's just been a lot of kind of otherwise would have been loneliness, and being able to come together with you guys who I love a lot and have a lot of fun with. And we just have a cool, good time. And then it happens to super benefit some people. And I think that's awesome. And I love you all a lot. And this is really fun.
Correct. I literally just started this because I was bored. I did not have a job to go back to. I wanted to do something, and drag just was not doing it for me at the time because I was not making any coin, but I was making art and no one was seeing it. Then I said, hey, let's just do this clue script reading. It'll benefit MTUG. Pulled it all out of my ass, literally. And then just 1 became 2. Ginger stepped up in terms of helping us, and I'm trying to get through this and get to my faves, but like, I really am thankful for all of y'all, not just these people here. I mean, y'all are great, but I'm grateful to everyone who's been promoting, donating. I don't even want to like think about the numbers because I'm bad at math, but we've done so much good work. I mean, like when you think about, we've done the Christmas script reading where we were able to directly benefit 2 of our players. Y'all benefited my laser. Hang on. Get into this mug. Get into this soft skin, y'all. That's something that y'all contributed to. Touch this. I can walk a face category now, y'all.
I think that we would be remiss.
You're welcome.
Yes.
I think we would be remiss if we did not acknowledge how you really are the center of our web and really are the reason that we are.
Oh, I'm going to punch you because you're going to make me cry.
It's true.
You can punch me, but who's it really going to hurt is the question.
I know where you live, and we both vaccinated.
We're going to
post
see
up
tomorrow.
Congratulations.
Hey,
post up.
On a Zoom screen, though? Can I watch it?
First of all, I'm on Kelsey's side, so what? So what?
You always that's Virgo sisters, but no.
Well, we got Ducky in here, so
no.
All right, well,
can we do this Thursday night? I'll be at Kelsey's house already.
He's coming on Thursday. Let's
okay, cool. No,
so
like I just, it's so magical to me how this group came to be. It was whoever wanted to originally just jump on and do a script with us, and then
close enough.
Close enough, absolutely. And then it became like, hey, this script is problematic as fuck. Let's fix this. Hey, Thelma and Louise are kind of just 2 white women. Let's put a trans and non-binary woman together and see what happens. It's just, we went for it. Whatever we wanted to do, we went for it. And I'm so grateful to all of you guys for just being here for each other, for myself. I like just the way that this group evolved just naturally. Like we had Elizabeth watching us. We had Michelle watching us, and I wish she was here today. God damn it.
Yeah.
And then just jumping into the fray and making us up our game. Michelle's first reading is where I was like, oh shit, we're like actually kind of legit now because she's bringing in like all the props and shit. And I'm just gonna say thank you. Otherwise we're gonna be here till like 7 o'clock at night. I could thank.
No, not Samantha gonna be gone.
No, I know we're gonna lose.
Samantha gotta teach the babies tomorrow. Okay, I ain't got time.
Yes,
okay.
But truly, to all of y'all who are players, who are viewers, who are donators, thank you. I'm so grateful that we've been able to do this, and I hope that we've made you laugh. We probably made you cry as well. And I hope that you've just enjoyed the silliness. And just to end it with 2 of my faves, definitely The Room, without a doubt. For me, honestly, the Galaxy Quest one was one of my faves.
Galaxy Quest was so much fun.
One of my favorite moments, impromptu, where we all just put our phones up for the communicators while Pat was talking, and I just lost my shit, and we didn't even plan that. And on the dramatic side, I really kind of loved getting to have a one-on-one with Eleanor for Juno as Polly. It just worked. And sometimes we don't know if the chemistry is going to be there or not, and it just works. and that's why I love this stuff. So that's all. All right. I'm getting off the
No
soapbox.
more feelings.
No more feelings.
murder.
Act 2. Let's go.
Just a quick little
Yeah.
Let's kill everyone.
No, hold on.
Everyone was harmed in the making of this video.
Yes.
everyone.
Yes, Sam. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yes, no, I'm just grateful that you all actually keep like I be joking about being the professional thespian, even though it's true. But I just I was like, thank y'all so much. I didn't know y'all wanted me to be Morpheus. I'm like, that's Larry Fishburne. That's hard. And yeah, I
there was nobody else, in my opinion, for Morpheus.
fucked it up with the Mutepheus. But if we ever get merch, I'm definitely getting top cap. Like I'm getting something off the top. If we make
Star billing.
Yes. If we get merch, I'm getting top.
Oh, merch.
Yeah, because they were the cause of mutiny.
I mean, I'm here for that, and I'm also here for Cadaver suggested a shirt option that I think would be great.
I think t-shirts would be amazing.
Plus,
Not ready for quarantine players, trans my gender. Sell it $1 billion.
Yes. Plus, if Michelle's up here, that would be perfect for PlayerCon. Which if y'all aren't following our YouTube and our Facebook, make sure you are, because we are not leaving forever. It's just going to be a little bit more sporadic, maybe like once a season for now.
Should the back of our shirts have like all of our characters listed?
Yes.
Like everyone has their individual shirt.
like a team shirt with numbers, but for like characters and shit.
Right, but it's only like mine.
I'm gonna have a lot. I'm gonna have a lot because I was like half the cast for Heather's on the accident.
That's a lot of science. I don't know, man.
Yeah, I was saying, I don't even know if I could figure out everything.
Hey, the posters and the scripts.
I'm the idea person. I don't do the real labor.
I thought we could put all the shows that we did this season on.
Yes.
Better.
That'd be cute.
Way better.
Nice.
Yes. All right, Daniel. I know I said take it away like 5 minutes ago, but let's do this.
Yes, you did.
Sorry. Take it away.
Close enough.
Yes.
Close enough. Interior ground floor, the hall. We see the party as it splits up. Wadsworth and Mix White start up the stairs, as do Ms. Green and Yvette. Professor Plum and Mrs. Peacock stop, unsure of where to go. Wadsworth pauses on a step and indicates the door under the staircase.
The cellar.
Colonel Mustard and Mix Scarlet stop in the middle of the hall.
Well, we know what's in the study. We just come from the library, and the stranger's locked up in the lounge.
Let's go look in the billiard room again.
They go to the billiard room. Professor Plum opens the door to the cellar. Mrs. Peacock reaches in and turns on the light. They enter cautiously. Interior, second floor, hallway. The storm is still around Hill House, visible from a second-story window. Wadsworth and Mix White walk down the hallway as Ms. Green and Yvette start climbing the stairs to the attic. We hear thunder and rain. Interior, attic. Darkness. We don't know exactly where we are. Suddenly, a light turns on. We see Ms. Green and Yvette at the bottom of the attic staircase. Both of them are terrified of what may be above them. Silence.
You want to go up in front of me?
Absolutely no.
I'm sure there's no one up there.
Then you go in front.
All right.
Neither move. We hear nothing but the rain on the roof. Interior in the cellar, staircase. Darkness. We barely see Mrs. Peacock and Professor Plum backlit at the top of the stairs. They edge down. Mrs. Peacock gasps.
Gasp.
Well, age before beauty.
Read. No, you can go first.
That was shade. Anyways, no, I am no. I insist.
No, I insist.
Well, what are you afraid of? A fate worse than death?
No, just death. Isn't that enough?
Interior, second floor, hallway. Mix White and Wadsworth are at the doors of 2 adjacent rooms. They're looking at each other nervously.
Are you going in there?
Yes, are you?
Yes.
Pause.
Right.
Right.
They look in.
I don't see any light switches in there.
Well, neither do I, but there must be switches somewhere.
Shall I come in with you? Oh no, I think she's dead.
No! No! I mean, no thank you.
They start into their rooms and then jump out simultaneously, looking for the other. Interior, ground floor, billiard room. Colonel Mustard and Miss Peacock are in back of the corner bar. They're stooping to look in. They stand and Colonel Mustard indicates the bar's narrow egress.
You first.
No thanks.
They both head for the exit and they have to squeeze through. It's a very tight fit. Colonel Mustard walks past Miss Scarlet, who is sure to keep her in sight. Mustard grabs a pool cue from the wall. Scarlet gives a little gasp. Colonel Mustard walks over to the pool table and motions with the stick to look under it. They do. There's nothing there. Interior, attic. Miss Green and Yvette are still where they were, at the bottom of the steps. We hear rain.
Go in. I'll be right behind you.
That's why I'm nervous.
Then we go together.
The two squeeze up the narrow steps. Interior, cellar. Mrs. Peacock and Professor Plum are still inching down the stairs. Mrs. Peacock turns on the lights as Professor Plum slips on a step. This frightens Mrs. Peacock, who runs down the remaining few steps.
Stay there.
Interior, ground floor, in the hall, in the foyer. Colonel Mustard and Miss Scarlet throw open the closet door. Nothing there. Interior, second floor, master bedroom. Wadsworth is wandering in the dark.
If there's anybody in here, just look out.
Interior, second floor, bedroom. Mix White is wandering like Wadsworth.
Are you hiding? I'm coming.
So's Brad. Wrong show. Sorry. Rocky Horror.
I know.
Interior, ground floor, ballroom. Colonel Mustard and Miss Scarlet are backlit. We see the hall behind them.
Whose room is this?
Search me.
All right.
She starts to frisk them.
Get your mitts off me.
She does. Interior, cellar. Mrs. Peacock sees a rat and screams.
I'm not doing another scream.
The rat crawls away. Professor Plum tenses but starts to look around. Interior, ground floor, ballroom. Colonel Mustard flips on the lights, making Miss Scarlet gasp.
Nobody here.
He's behind one of the curtains.
They point to the curtains at the far end of the ballroom.
You look. I'll go search the kitchen.
Colonel Mustard leaves. Miss Scarlet sighs. They start to walk slowly toward the curtains. The curtains almost seem to be moving, but it could just be their imagination. Then there is definite movement off to the right. Scarlet stops in their tracks, trying to scream but unable to. They continue cautiously. Scarlet reaches the curtains, pauses, throws them back, revealing a broken window with the wind blowing in. Exterior, roadside. It is still raining. We see the motorist's car on the side of the road. A cop car pulls up to investigate. And, shoot the dogs. Interior, ground floor, the study. We see photographs and papers, as well as the tapes of the conversation Yvette was making earlier. A gloved hand picks them up. The hand throws the photos and papers into the fire. Then the tape goes in. It all burns. The hand now uses a key to unlock the cupboard with the weapons. But wasn't that key thrown away? The weapons are revealed. Interior, motorist's car. The camera reveals a cop shining his flashlight into the car. Exterior, roadside. As before, we see the cop shining his flashlight into the car. Interior, ground floor, the lounge. The motorist is making his phone call.
I'm a little nervous.
The camera reveals the lounge's fireplace, which is swiveling around.
I'm in a big house, and I've been locked in a lounge. Yes. The funny thing is,
The next
there's a
statements
whole...
are intercut with the wrench approaching the motorist.
The funny thing is, there's a whole group of people having sort of a party. And one of them is my old boss from...
The wrench descends. The phone falls to the floor, and the motorist follows suit. A gloved hand places the phone back on its cradle. Exterior, roadside. The cop shines his flashlight onto the car's license plate, then underneath the car. He walks away. Interior, ground floor, conservatory. Colonel Mustard and Miss Scarlet stand in the doorway, backlit by the hall. Rain can still be heard, but no lightning, which it makes sense because lightning is not the thing that makes sound. Colonel Mustard switches on the lights. The two look around. The conservatory is dilapidated. There is dust and cobwebs all around. It obviously hasn't been used for some time. Mick Scarlet walks to the outer wall of windows. Rain pours down them. Colonel Mustard walks to one side and picks up something. She then takes a rag and wipes her hands off. While doing so, she leans against the wall, and it swings open. She falls down, but quickly gets up.
Looks like a secret passage.
Do we see where it leads?
What the hell? I'll go first. I've had a good life.
Interior, ground floor, conservatory/lounge secret passage. The secret passage is narrow and the floor is uneven. Mick Scarlet trips and yells in surprise.
It's all right.
Interior, ground floor of the lounge. Colonel Mustard and Mick Scarlet emerge from behind the still rotated fireplace. They see the motorist's corpse.
Oh my god!
The fireplace slides shut behind them. Scarlet panics. They start yelling. Interior attic. Ms. Green and Yvette can faintly hear Mick Scarlet's yells. Interior ground floor in the lounge. Scarlet and Mustard run to the double doors. They're locked. Now both are yelling. In the second floor hallway, Wadsworth and Mick White run for the staircase. In the second floor attic staircase, the base, Miss Green and Yvette run down from the attic. In the second floor hallway, the four people collide and go sprawling. On the ground floor in the lounge, Mick Scarlet and Colonel Mustard are still banging at the door and screaming. In the second floor hallway, the four upstairs untangle themselves. Wadsworth and Miss Green run down the stairs, followed by Yvette and Mick White.
Where is it coming from?
Where are we going?
They make it to the ground floor just as Professor Plum and Mrs. Peacock emerge from the cellar.
Where are they?
The lounge.
Wadsworth tries the door. It's locked.
Door is locked.
I know.
Lock it.
Where's the key?
Wadsworth searches her pockets.
The key is gone.
Never mind about the key. Unlock the door.
Ms. Green grabs Professor Plum and begins to shake him.
I can't unlock the... What?
I had a derp. I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. We can do it together. I can't unlock the door without the key.
Green releases the professor and bangs on the door.
Let us in! Let us in!
Back in the lounge.
Let us out!
Let us out!
Hey!
Okay!
Back on the ground floor in the hall.
It's no good. Stand back.
Backs up all the way across the hall to the study door.
There's no alternative. I'm just going to have to break it down.
The butler runs at full speed for the door. She hits it and falls to the floor holding her shoulder. Yvette gets an idea.
I know, I have it.
Oop, I lost my place. Interior ground floor in the lounge. The two in the lounge are still yelling. Ground floor in the hall.
Will you shut up?
On the ground floor in the study, Yvette grabs the revolver from the open cupboard.
We're doing our best.
On the ground floor in the hall, Yvette runs out of the study and trips over the still sprawled Wadsworth. The shot goes wild, hitting the chandelier rope. Ms. Green and Professor Plum hit the deck. The chandelier starts spinning. Mrs. Peacock and Mick White run into each other. On the ground floor in the lounge, Mustard and Scarlet are crouched down.
They're shooting at us.
On the ground floor in the hall, panic continues. The movie. The chandelier continues to spin and the rope is fraying, unbeknownst to the party. Yvette stands and aims at the lounge lock. Plum and Green, who had started to get up, hit the floor again. Yvette fires twice. Both shots hit the door lock. On the ground floor in the lounge, Colonel Mustard turns away from the door, holding his shoulder.
I've been shot.
On the ground floor in the hall.
I've been shot.
Come out, the door is open.
They lower the gun so it is carelessly pointing in the direction of Professor Plum and Ms. Green. They scramble out of the way. The lounge opens and a miraculously unwounded Colonel Mustard and Mick Scarlet emerge.
Why are you shooting that thing at us?
To get you out.
They shove them.
You know, you could have killed us. I could have been killed.
Shot of the chandelier, spinning ever more quickly. The rope is almost completely frayed.
I can't take any more scares.
The rope snaps. Chandelier lands 3 feet in back of Colonel Mustard. Mustard is in shock. She collapses onto a love seat.
But look!
The party runs across the room, crushing glass as they go.
Which one of you did it?
We found him! Together!
How'd you get in?
The door was locked.
It's a great trick.
There's a secret passageway from the conservatory.
That the same gun?
From the cupboard?
But it was locked.
No,
Yeah.
it was unlocked.
Unlocked?
But yes, see for yourself.
The party runs into the lounge. On the way, Yvette tosses the revolver under the broken chandelier,
Good
showing
plan.
just a terrible disregard for gun safety.
Yeah.
Interior ground
Her
floor,
safety.
the study. The guests pile in and see that the cupboard has indeed been opened.
How did you know it was unlocked? How did you know that you could get at the gun?
I didn't. I think I would break it open, but it was open already.
A likely story.
The doorbell rings. Cut 2. Shot off the doorbell ringing. Cut 2. The guests freezing in place.
Maybe they'll just go away?
Cut 2. The doorbell. It is still. Cut back to the guests, still frozen. The doorbell rings again. Cut 2. The doorbell ringing. Cut back to the guests, quite disappointed.
I'm gonna open it.
Why?
I have nothing to hide. I didn't do it. The key.
Wadsworth hands the key to Ms. Green.
Thank you.
Ms. Green strides into the hall, followed by the rest of the party. On the ground floor, in the hall and the foyer, Ms. Green opens the door, revealing the cop.
Good evening, madam.
The door closes in the cop's face. Exterior of Hill House, in the porch, looking inside. Door reopens.
Yes.
I found a abandoned car near the gate at this house. Did the driver come here for any help by any chance?
Everyone but Ms. Green insists that was not the case.
No.
Actually,
No.
yes.
No.
No.
No!
No.
No.
There seemed to be some kind of a disagreement.
No.
No!
No.
Oh.
Yes.
Can I come in and use your phone?
No.
No.
Wadsworth steps to the front
Get a
door.
warrant.
Yeah.
Of course you may, sir. You may use the one in the. No. You could use the one in the. No. Would you be kind enough to wait in the library?
Sure.
Interior ground floor in the hall. The cop sees Yvette.
Don't I know you from someplace? You all seem very anxious about something.
It's the chandelier. It fell down, almost killed us. Would you like to come this way, please, sir? May I have another?
I was thinking the same thing.
Mick Scarlet closes the door of the study. Mick Scarlet closes the door to the study suddenly and attempts to look nonchalant. The cop whirls at the sound. Professor Plum does the same to the lounge door. The cop whirls again.
Frightfully drafty, these old houses.
Interior ground floor in the library. Wadsworth leads the cop and indicates the phone.
Please help yourself to a drink if you like.
The cop reaches for the cognac.
Not the cognac, just in case.
The butler exits and closes the door.
Just in case for what?
Back in the hall, Wadsworth locks the door and turns to the assembled guests.
What now?
Back in the library, the cop tries the door handle. It is, of course, locked. Back in the hall.
We should have told him.
Well, it's easy for you to say now.
I said it then.
Oh, shut up!
Shut up.
Let's clean this up.
Back in the library, the cop pauses at the door, then walks over to the phone. He reaches for it, but it rings before he picks it up. He answers the phone.
Hello?
Back in the hall. All are still.
The cop answered it.
Back in the library.
And who should I say is calling? Ah, will you hold, please?
The cop strides over to the library doors.
Let me out of here! Let me out of here! You have no right to shut me in. I'll book you for false arrest and wrongful imprisonment, obstruction of an officer in the course of his duty, and murder.
Back in the hall, the door opens. The party stands there, Wadsworth with broom in hand.
What do you mean, murder?
I just said so you can open the door.
The guests sigh and laugh nervously.
What's going on around here? And why would you lock me in? And why are you receiving phone calls from J. Edgar Hoover?
J. Edgar Hoover?
That's right. The head of the Federal Bureau of Investigation.
You don't even like him.
Why is J. Edgar Hoover on your phone?
I don't know. He's on everybody else's. Why shouldn't he be on mine? Excuse me.
Topical humor.
What's going on here?
Mick Scarlet drapes themselves on the cop.
We're having a party.
Laugh even more nervously than before.
May I look around?
Sure. You can show him around, Miss Green.
Me?
Yes. You can show him the dining room, the kitchen, and the ballroom.
Fine. Officer, come with me. I'll show you the dining room and the kitchen, or the ballroom.
Ground floor in the dining room. The cop raises the metal partition and looks into the kitchen. Back in the lounge.
Make it look convincing.
Back in the dining room.
So, this is the dining room.
No kidding.
Back in the lounge.
Fun.
Back in the dining room.
What's going on in those two rooms?
Which two rooms?
The cop pushes past her and enters the hall. Interior ground floor in the hall. A couple of guests run frantically across the hall. Just as they leave the room, the cop enters and points at the lounge and the study.
Those two rooms.
Oh, those two rooms?
Yes.
Ms. Green is at a loss. The cop strides toward the study door. Ms. Green blocks the cop's path.
Officer, I don't think you should go in there.
Why not?
The cop dodges around Ms. Green. The guest blocks the door to the study with her body.
Because it's all too shocking.
The cop throws Ms. Green aside. Interior ground floor at the study. Music can be heard in the background. It's Life Could Be a Dream on a record player. Mix White is on a couch on top of Mr. Body, using their hand to move his arm against them, pretending to kiss him. The cop sees Colonel Mustard and a woman apparently kissing against the far wall on a curtain. The camera reveals that Mrs. Peacock is behind the curtain. Her hands are on Colonel Mustard's back, but Mrs. Ho is propped up between them.
It's not all that shocking. These folks are just having a good time.
The cop leaves to the hall. Ms. Green is surprised. In the lounge, Mick Scarlet pours a drink into the motorist's mouth. The motorist is propped in a chair, drink in hand. Music can still be heard, but faintly. From the ground floor in the study, Colonel Mustard and Ms. Peacock roll Mrs. Ho onto the couch.
Oh my God.
In the lounge, just before the cop enters, Professor Plum takes Mick Scarlet onto the couch and begins kissing them. They have no choice but to follow their example. The cop comes in.
Excuse me.
The two lovers get up with a start. The cop notices the motorist. He leans into the dead man's face and sniffs.
This man's drunk. Dead drunk.
Dead right.
You're not going to drive home, are you?
Mute, Professor Mute.
Shit, I was doing so good. He won't be driving home, officer. I promise you that.
Yeah.
Somebody will give him a lift, huh?
Oh, we'll get him a car,
A long black car.
a limousine.
Professor Plum again lowers Mick Scarlet onto the couch. They give off a little cry of surprise. In the hall, Wadsworth exits the library. She leans against the door and sighs in thought. The cop and Ms. Green enter the hall. Wadsworth throws off her thoughts and walks to them.
Officer!
You're too late. I've seen it all.
All during this conversation, Ms. Green is standing behind the cop looking at Wadsworth. Green looks mystified but relieved.
I can explain everything.
You don't have to.
I don't?
Don't worry. There's nothing illegal about any of this.
Are you sure?
Of course. This is America.
I see.
It's a free country. Don't you know that?
I didn't know it was that free. Right.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't know it was that free.
The cop glances back at Ms. Green, who tries to look innocent.
May I use your phone now?
Certainly.
The butler leads the cop to the library once again and locks it. The guests start to emerge into the hall.
Why did you lock him in again?
You haven't finished searching the house yet.
Well, not of time. Only 15 minutes before the police come.
The police already came. Shut up.
We can just cuddle.
Let's get on with it.
Monsieur?
Guests again split up to search the house as the music continues. Ground floor in the kitchen. Colonel Mustard and Mick Scarlet enter. Colonel Mustard suddenly opens the door, only to have an ironing board hit her on the head. Mick Scarlet opens the door to the freezer. They grasp one of the meat hooks. It turns in their grip and reveals another secret passage in the back of the freezer. They give a cry of surprise.
Look, I can't believe it. I wonder where this one goes.
Well, let's find out.
Step in. In the ground floor and the study, the music still continues. Colonel Mustard and Mick Scarlet swing aside a large painting and enter the room from the secret passage. They shrug.
Let's try the ballroom again.
Interior in the attic. Ms. Green and Yvette are still poking around in the attic. On the ground floor, at the top of the cellar steps, the camera reveals a gloved hand pulling a lever down. All the electricity is shut off. The lights go out instantly, and the music stops. In the cellar in the boiler room, Mrs. Peacock, in the darkness, backs up into the boiler. She thinks the person, perhaps Professor Plum, and starts to hit it with her handbag.
Don't you touch me!
The second floor in the master bedroom. A gust of wind blows in, shutting a door. Wadsworth yells in fright.
Ah!
On the second floor bedroom, Mick White screams.
Ugh.
On the ground floor staircase, Yvette is descending the stairs quietly. Mick White's scream can still be heard. Interior ground floor library. The cop is on the phone.
Hello? Hello?
On the ground floor in the billiard room, Yvette enters quietly. An off-screen voice can be identified even as being male or female. The first line sounds male, then the second female.
Shut the door. Did anyone recognize you?
Suddenly, Yvette's French accent is gone.
They must have. And not just my face, they know every inch of my body, and they're not the only ones.
Oh, man.
Noose flies onto Yvette's neck.
It's you!
Back in the library, the cop is still on the phone.
There's something funny going on around here. I don't know what it is.
The camera reveals the door handle being silently opened.
No, I'm not on duty. I just have a feeling that I'm in danger. You know, that big, ugly house on top?
Surprise,
Lead pipe.
motherfucker.
The lead pipe comes down softly on the phone cradle, cutting the connection off. We can see the pipe being raised behind the cop's head.
Hello? Hello? Are you there?
Back in the hall, the doorbell is ringing. You get a view of the guests' faces. On the interior ground floor in the hall, with the view outside, the front door opens. A young woman is outside. She's dressed in a uniform and strikes a pose as the door opens.
I am the singing telegram.
The gun fires. She falls to the ground. The door slams shut. Interior attic in the rear room. Ms. Green, trying to get out, opens a closet. Its contents fall on her. On the second floor bedroom, a jack-in-the-box springs open, frightening Miss White. They scream.
Eep.
Interior second floor master bedroom. Miss White, unintelligible yells can be heard.
Shouting, I'm coming. I'm just trying to find the door.
Wadsworth enters another part of the master bedroom.
Still coming. I'm really great at that.
She grasps a handle.
What's this? I'm at the door?
She twists the handle, starting the shower. She is promptly very wet.
Yeah, I am.
Interior ground floor staircase. A very wet Wadsworth sloshes down the steps. She
Well,
goes
my
to the entrance-
basement.
Hey, I'm in the basement. Let's not do that.
She goes to the entrance to the cellar and pulls up the lever, restoring electricity to Hill House. Back in the study, the record player starts again, taking several seconds to get up to speed. In the hall, the party, minus Yvette, slowly reassembles in the hall. The song ends. In the billiard room, the camera reveals the guests looking in from the hall. They see Yvette's corpse sprawled on the pool table, still with the noose on their neck, and they walk off. In the library, the camera reveals the guests looking in from the hall. They see the cop's corpse hung over a table. The guests stand at the door.
2 murders.
Professor Plum enters the library and picks up the lead pipe.
Neither of them shot. I thought I heard a gun.
I did.
So did I.
I thought I heard the door slam.
Oh God, the murderer must have run out.
The guests run towards the front door. Exterior of Hill House on the porch. The guests open the door, seeing the singing telegram girl's body. It has a bullet hole neatly through the forehead.
3 murders.
6 altogether.
This is getting serious.
They close the door and lock it. Back in the hall, the guests walk onto the main floor.
No gun. Yvette dropped it here. Very well. I know who did it.
You do?
Do?
And furthermore, I'm going to tell you exactly how it all was done. Follow me.
She walks to the library. The guests follow. In the library, Wadsworth addresses the assembled guests.
In order to help you understand what happened, I shall need to take you through the events of the evening step by step. At the start of the evening, Yvette was here by themselves, waiting to offer you all a glass of champagne. I was in the hall. I know because I was there. Then I hurried across the kitchen.
She waves for the guests to follow her. In the kitchen, Wadsworth is running into the kitchen, the guests following.
And the cook was in here, alive, sharpening knives, preparing for dinner, and then...
Wadsworth springs up to the front door, the guests following closely. She proceeds to act out events.
And the doorbell rang, and it was you.
Yes.
I asked you for your coat, and I recognized you as Colonel Mustard, and I prevented you from telling you your real name because I didn't want any of you to use your names other than your pseudonym, and I introduced you myself as a butler, and I ran across the hall to the library.
She does so with the confused guests in tow. In the library, Wadsworth imitates everything she describes.
And then you met Yvette, and then Yvette met you, and smiled, and poured you a drink.
She runs for the hall. In the foyer, Wadsworth heads for the front door.
And the doorbell rang, and it was Miss White, looking pale and tragic, and I took their coat and made off.
They head for the library again.
And I introduced them to Colonel Mustard. Hello, hello. And then I noticed that Miss White and Yvette flinched, and there was a rumble of thunder and a crash of lightning.
She demonstrates.
And to make a long story short,
Too late.
Too late.
Too late.
one by one, you all arrived.
In the hall, Wadsworth grabs the gong mallet.
And then the gong was struck by the cook. And then we went to the dining room.
In the dining room, Wadsworth goes around the table, indicating chairs.
And Mrs. Peacock sat there, and Professor Plum sat there, and Mrs. White sat there, and Miss Green and Nick Scarlet, Colonel Mustard. This chair was vacant. Anyway, we all revealed we'd received a letter. And you had a letter, you had a letter, and you had a letter.
Get on with it!
The point is blackmail.
But all this came out after dinner in the study.
You're right.
She heads into the hall. The party runs across the hall to the study. In the study, the butler rushes around the room, pointing at different locations.
Miss Green stood there, and Miss Peacock stood there, and Miss Scarlet there, and Professor Plum here, and Colonel Mustard, and Miss White, and...
Get on with it!
I'm getting there, and Mr. Bodie, we're in to get his surprise packages from the hall. Yeah, and you all opened your presents, and Mr. Bodie switched out the lights.
Wadsworth turns off the lights. Pause. Everyone screams.
Ah!
The lights are flipped back on. Wadsworth is lying on the floor, and the guests, tired of all this, react with disgust.
Ugh.
The butler opens her eyes.
Mr. Bodie lay on the floor, apparently dead.
He was dead. I examined him.
Then why was he bashed on the head a few minutes later with a candlestick if he was already dead?
All right, I made a mistake.
Right, but if so, why was Mr. Bodie pretending to be dead? It could only be because he realized his scheme had misfired and the gunshot was intended to kill him, not me. Look!
Points
the
at blood
bullet
on
grazed his ear. Clearly his best way of escaping death was to pretend to be dead anyway.
So whoever grabbed the gun from me in the dark was trying to kill him.
But remember what happened next.
She goes to the door and picks up the glass from a table.
Mrs. Peacock took a drink, and you said, maybe it's poisoned, and she screams. She did.
Wadsworth screams in falsetto. She takes Mrs. Peacock, who helpfully starts to scream. The butler sits her down on the couch.
Miss Green.
Wadsworth slaps Mrs. Peacock. She imitates Miss
Well,
Green.
I had to stop the screaming, and then more screaming. Yvette, the billiard room. We all rushed out.
As they do now. In the billiard room, Wadsworth sits on the pool table. The guests pool around the door.
But one of us wasn't there. No.
No.
No. Maybe one of us was murdering the cook who wasn't here with us.
Do you know?
I do. While we stood there trying to stop Yvette from panicking,
she leaves for the study.
One of us could have stayed in the study, picked up the dagger.
In the hall, Wadsworth is running down the hall.
Run down the hall.
In the kitchen,
stab the cook.
She plunges the dagger into a chicken as the guests arrive at the door.
Caw-caw.
Is that a crow?
Oh, how could he risk it? We might have seen him running back.
Wadsworth goes over to the freezer and pushes open the back of the freezer, exposing the kitchen/study secret passage.
Not if they use this secret passage.
Miss Peacock gasps.
And the murderer ran down the secret passage to the study.
Wadsworth leaves the kitchen for the hall. In the hall, the butler is going for the study.
Is that where it comes out?
Yes. Look.
Hey.
Yes, look.
In the study, Wadsworth pushes open the picture.
Are you frozen? Oh no, you were just doing it.
How
did you know?
This house belonged to friends of mine. I've known all along.
You could be the murderer.
Don't be ridiculous. If I was the murderer, why would I reveal to you how I did it? Because I'm OJ.
Well, who else knew about the secret passage?
We did. Colonel Mustard and me.
You found it. You could have known about it all the time.
But I didn't.
Well, why should we believe you?
Because they were with us in the billiard room doorway when Yvette was screaming. Don't you remember?
What I don't understand is why was the cook murdered? She had nothing to do with Mr. Body.
Of course she did. I gathered all of you here together because you were all implicated in Mr. Body's dastardly blackmail. Did none of you deduce that the others were involved as well?
Evidently no one had.
What others?
The cook and Yvette?
No!
That's how he got his information. Before he could blackmail anyone, Mr. Body had to discover their guilty secret. The cook and Yvette were his accomplices.
I see. So whoever knew that the cook was involved killed her.
Yes.
Colonel Mustard looks very happy.
I know, because I was Mr. Body's butler, and that the cook had worked for one of you.
The guests ask who it was.
You don't recognize Yvette. You recognized Yvette, didn't you? Don't deny it. Oh no. She's going to.
What do you mean, don't deny it? I'm not denying anything.
Another denial.
All right, it's true. I knew that my husband had an affair with them, but I didn't care. I wasn't jealous.
You knew Yvette too, didn't you?
Yes, they worked for me.
And you also knew them, Mustard. We've already established that you were one of Miss Scarlet's clients. That's why you were so desperate to get your hands on those negatives. Photographs of you and Yvette in flagrante delicto, remember? I guess that's how you say that.
That's how you said it, yeah.
Okay, good.
Mr. Body's threatened to send those pictures to my dear old mother. The shock would have killed her.
That would have been quite an achievement, since you told us she's dead already. So she had the motive.
All had a motive.
But where and when was Mr. Body killed?
Don't you see? Look, we came back to the study with Yvette. Mr. Body was on the floor, pretending to be dead, but one of us noticed he's alive. So I explained that I was Mr. Body's butler, and I'd invited you all here, and we realized there was only one other person in the house.
The cook!
The cook!
Wadsworth leaves the guests far behind. In the hall, everyone runs up the hall to the kitchen. The guests enter the kitchen, breathless. Ms. Green runs to the freezer, just like she did before. But there's no Wadsworth.
Well, where is she?
The freezer door opens. Miss Scarlet screams. Wadsworth, looking quite dead, falls into Miss Green's arms. The exasperated Miss Green drops the butler onto the floor. Wadsworth opens her eyes.
By now, she was dead. We laid her down with our backs on the freezer. One of us slipped through that same secret passage.
Again.
Of course. Back to the study. Let's go running.
Oh.
They all run out. In the study, Wadsworth acts as if she had just entered the study from the secret passage.
The murderer was in the secret passage. Meanwhile, Mr. Body had been on the floor. He
Wadsworth
jumped up.
again throws Miss Green to the floor.
He'd been on the floor. He jumped up. I'm going to let you fall again. The murderer came out of the secret passage, picked up the candlestick.
The butler acts as if she had a candlestick. She goes after Miss Green, who may not be acting her look of panic. In the hall, Wadsworth is pursuing a frightened Mrs. Green up the hall towards the bathroom.
Mr. Body followed us out of the study into the hall looking for an escape. The murderer crept up behind him and killed him.
Wadsworth brings her hand down upon Miss Green's head. Miss Green falls.
Will you stop that?
No. I'm going to grab you and proceed to the bathroom.
The butler grabs Miss Green and
Then they threw him into the toilet.
No!
Wadsworth leans against the bathroom doorframe, pretending to check a watch.
And nonchalantly rejoined us beside the cook's body in the kitchen. It took less than half a minute.
So who wasn't there the entire time in the kitchen?
Whoever it was is the murderer.
Runs off. The bathroom door opens and Ms. Green emerges, drying her hands. We can hear a toilet flush. She hands the towel to Colonel Mustard. In the study, Wadsworth runs in.
And we put the weapons in the cupboard, locked it, and ran to the front door.
She runs out, almost colliding with the just arrived guests. In the hall, Wadsworth opens the front door and makes as if throwing the key away.
To throw away the key. The motorist. I didn't throw the key away. I put it in my pocket, and someone could have taken it out of my pocket and substituted another.
We were all in a huddle. Any one of us could have done that.
Precisely.
She slams the front door.
Wait a minute. Colonel Mustard has a top secret Pentagon job. Mix White's husband is a nuclear physicist and
Runs to the billiard room and points in.
that is a link between them.
What is your top secret job, Colonel?
I can tell you, she's working on the secret of the next fusion bomb.
Mix White gasps.
How did you know that?
Can you keep a secret?
Yes.
So can I.
Is this a plot between them, Wadsworth, or did Colonel Mustard do it alone?
We shall see. Let's look at the other murders.
Yes. Bad luck that motorist arrived at that moment.
It wasn't luck. I invited him.
You did?
Of course. Isn't it obvious? Everyone here tonight was either Mr. Body's victim or accomplice. Everyone who has died gave him vital information about one of you. I've got them here so they'd give evidence against him and force him to confess.
Oh, yeah? What about the motorist? What kind of information did he have?
He was my driver during the war.
Colonel Mustard sits in a chair.
And what was he holding over you?
He knew that I was a war profiteer. I stole essential Air Force radio parts and I sold them on the black market. That's how I made my money. But that does not make me a murderer.
Well, a lot of our airmen died because their radios didn't work. Was the policeman working for Mr. Body too because ACAB?
The cop was from Washington. He was on my payroll. I bribed him once a week so I could carry on my business. Mr. Body found out somehow.
Low-key, I'd be like, go girl, but in character, oh my God.
Oh, please.
And the singing telegram girl?
Exterior, Hill House with the front door with the view inside. The rain has stopped. People open the door and look at the singing telegram girl's corpse.
He was my patient once. I had an affair with her. That's how I lost my license. Mr. Body found that out too.
Well, let's put her in the study with the others.
In the study, they drop the singing telegram girl's body on the floor.
So, now that you know why they all died, whoever killed Mr. Body also wanted his accomplices dead.
How did the murderer know about them all? I mean, I admit that I had guessed that this younger singer informed on this young singer informed on me to Mr. Body, but I didn't know anything about any of you until this evening.
First, the murderer needed to get the weapons. Easy. They stole the key from my pocket. And then we all followed Colonel Mustard's suggestion that we split up and search the house.
That's right. It was Colonel Mustard's suggestion.
Colonel Mustard cannot meet their eyes.
And one of us got away from their partner and hurried to the study. On the desk was the envelope from Mr. Body. It contained photographs and letters, the evidence of Mr. Body's network of informants.
Where's the envelope now?
Gone. Destroyed. Perhaps in the fire. The only possible place. Aha! Then, having found out the whole story, the murderer went to the cupboard, unlocked it with the key, took out the wrench.
Then we found the secret passage from the conservatory to the lounge, where we found the motorist dead.
In the hall, Wadsworth frantically acts out the next scene.
That's right, and we couldn't get in, so Yvette ran to the open cupboard and shut the door. Bang! And then the doorbell rang.
The doorbell rings. Everyone freezes in terror.
Oh, whoever it is, they gotta go away or they'll be killed. Oh!
Mrs. Peacock opens the front door. A rather elderly evangelist stands outside, pamphlets in hand.
Oh, no.
Muted. Mute.
Hail.
I clicked it. Sorry. Good evening. Have you ever given any thought to the kingdom of heaven?
What?
Repent, the kingdom of heaven is at hand.
You ain't just whistling Dixie.
Armageddon is upon us.
I'm getting sick of you.
Sad.
Oh.
I got news for you. It's already here.
Mrs. Peacock tries to shut the door on him.
Go away.
But your souls are in danger.
Our lives are in danger, you beatnik.
She shuts the door on him, closing several of his pamphlets inside.
Up arrived next. We locked him in the library. We forgot the cupboard with the weapons was now unlocked. And then we split up again, and the murderer switched off the electricity.
They do so. Everything goes black.
Oh my God.
Ew.
Not again.
Turn on the lights.
Wadsworth turns on the lights. Back in the hall.
That was
Sorry, didn't mean to frighten you.
You're a little late for that. Hate it when he does that.
They whimper.
Then there were 3 more murders.
So which of us killed Bim?
None of us killed Mr. Boy or the cook.
So who did?
The one person who wasn't with us.
The guests try to figure it out.
Yvette.
Yvette.
That.
They were in the billiard room listening to our conversation.
Cut 2. Flashback of Yvette sitting on the pool table. The following events transpire as Wadsworth describes them.
They heard the gunshot. They thought he was dead. And while we all examined the bullet hole, they crept into the study, picked up the dagger, ran to the kitchen, and stabbed the cook.
Yvette stabs Mrs. Ho in the back.
We didn't hear the cook scream because Mrs. Peacock was screaming about the poison brandy. Then Yvette returned to the billiard room. They screamed, and we all ran to them.
Cut 2 in the present, in the hall.
Well, when did they kill Mr. Body?
When I said, we all ran to the kitchen to see the cook. Yvette hid in the study to check that Mr. Buddy was dead.
Cut 2, flashback of Yvette hiding behind a chair in the lounge. The following events transpire as Wadsworth describes them.
He got up and followed them down the hall. So they hit them on the head with a candlestick and dragged them to the toilet.
Cut 2, the present, in the hall.
Why?
To create confusion.
It worked.
Colonel Mustard nods.
Why did they do it?
Was it because they were acting under orders from the person who later killed them?
Ooh.
Ooh.
Who?
Was it one of their clients? Or was it a jealous wife? Or an adulterous doctor? No, it was their employer, Mick Scarlett.
That's a lie.
Is it? You used them the way you always used them. You killed a motorist when we split up to search the house.
And how could I have known about the secret passage?
Easy, Yvette told you. So when we split up again,
Cut 2, Mick Scarlett, gloved, turning off the electricity.
you switched off the electricity. It was easy for you here on the ground floor. Then, in the dark, you got the lead pipe and the rope, strangled Yvette, ran to the library, killed the cop, picked up the gun where Yvette dropped it off, opened the front door, recognized the singing telegram from her photograph, and shot her.
Cut 2, present, in the hall.
You've no proof.
The gun is missing. Folks, turn out your pockets or empty your purses. Whoever has the gun is the murderer.
They all do so. Suddenly, Mick Scarlett pulls out the revolver. They point it at her.
Brilliantly worked out, Wadsworth. I congratulate you.
She shrugs off the praise. Miss McScarlet slowly starts to make their way to the front door.
Me too.
Shut up.
Now, there's one thing I don't understand.
One thing?
Why did you do it? Half of Washington knows what kind of business you run. You're in no real danger. The whole town would be implicated if you were exposed.
I don't think you know my real business. My business is secrets. Yeah, Yvette found them out for me. The secrets of Senator Peacock's Defense Committee, of Colonel Mustard's fusion nutcake, Professor Plum's UN contacts, and the work of your husband, the nuclear physicist.
So it is political. You're a communist.
No, Miss Green. Communism is just a red herring. Like all members of the oldest profession, I'm a capitalist. I'm going to sell my secrets, your secrets, to the highest bidder.
And what if we don't cooperate?
You will, or I'll expose you.
We can expose you. 6 murders.
I hardly think it will enhance your reputation at the UN, Professor Plum, if it is revealed you have been implicated not only in adultery with one of your patients, but in her death, and the deaths of 5 other people. Dun, dun, dun.
You don't know what kind of people they have at the UN. I might go up in their estimation.
Colonel Mustard starts towards McScarlet. They bring the revolver around to bear on Mustard.
It's no good blackmailing me. I have no more money.
The guests
Yeah,
agree.
me neither.
No, me.
Mm-mm.
I know, sweetie pie, but you can pay me government information. All of you.
They pause, then walk to Wadsworth. They point the revolver at her.
Except to you, Wadsworth. You, as a mere butler, have no access to government secrets. So I'm afraid your time has come.
Not so fast, McScarlet. I do have a secret or two.
Oh yeah? Such as?
The game's up, Scarlet. There are no more bullets left in that gun.
You feeling lucky, punk? Oh, come on. You don't think I'm going to fall for that old trick?
It's not a trick. There was 1 shot at Mr. Body in the study, 2 for the chandelier, 2 at the lounge door, and 1 for the singing telegram.
That's not 6?
1 plus 2 plus 2 plus 1.
Oh, there was 1 shot that got the chandelier. That's 1 plus 2 plus 1 plus 1.
Even if you're right, that would be 1 plus 1 plus 2 plus 1, not 1 plus 2 plus 1 plus 1.
Okay, fine. 1 plus 2 plus 1. Shut up. The point is there's 1 bullet left in this gun, and guess who's going to get it?
The doorbell rings. Scarlet is distracted by it. Wadsworth turns their arm around, taking the gun and forcing them to kneel on the floor. Ms. Green runs for the door and opens it. Cops pour in. Ms. Green cowers by the closet in the foyer.
I'm only a guest.
Where's the chief?
The elderly evangelist, the chief, walks in, gun in hand.
Ah, Wadsworth, well done. I did warn you, my dear. Mr. Hoover is an expert of Armageddon.
Scarlet is pulled to their feet.
Wadsworth, don't hate me for trying to shoot you.
Frankly, Scarlet, I don't give a damn. As I was trying to tell you, there are no bullets left in this gun. You see?
She pulls the trigger, firing the 6th bullet through the rope of the 2nd chandelier. Wadsworth is perplexed. Scarlet shrugs, embarrassed.
1 plus 2 plus 1.
The camera reveals Colonel Mustard.
Plus 2 plus 1 is...
And the chandelier shatters on the floor in back of her. The camera freezes. Cut to a card. That's what could have happened. But how about this? Cut 2. Interior ground floor, the hall. Wadsworth has just turned on the lights, like the beginning of ending A.
In the dark, the murderer ran across the hall to the study, picked up the rope and the lead pipe, ran to the billiard room, strangled Yvette, ran to the library, hit the cop on the top of the head with the lead pipe. Then, coming out of the library, the doorbell rang. It was the singing telegram. The murderer picked up the gun where Yvette dropped it, ran to the door, opened it, recognized the girl from the picture, shot her, and ran back to the cellar.
The
The
cellar.
cellar.
Yes.
But Colonel Mustard wasn't in the cellar.
No, but you were.
So?
You murdered them all. You were the person who was missing when the cook and Mr. Body were murdered, and the cook used to be your cook. Don't you remember your fatal mistake? You told us at dinner when we were eating one of your favorite recipes, and surprise nutcake, though very popular in Cantonese cuisine, are not often to be found in Washington, D.C.
Is that what we ate?
She covers her mouth and runs for the bathroom.
Why would I have murdered all the others?
Obviously, in case Mr. Body had told them about you.
So it has all nothing to do with the disappearing nuclear physicist and Colonel Mustard's work on the new fusion bomb.
No, communism is just a red herring. Mrs. Peacock did it all.
There's no proof.
Well, the gun is missing. Folks, turn out your pockets or empty your purses.
The camera
Whoever has
reveals
the gun is the murderer.
Mrs. Peacock opens her purse and pulls out the gun, pointing it
Yeah.
at the butler.
Very well. What do you propose to do about it?
She makes her way to the front door.
Nothing. Okay. Nothing at all. I don't approve of murder, but it seems to me that you've done the world a service by ridding it of an appalling blackmailer and his disgusting informers.
But the police will be here any minute. What happens then?
Why should the police come? Nobody's called them.
Everybody is shocked.
You mean?
That's right. Now, I suggest that we stack the bodies in the cellar, lock it, leave quietly one at a time, and pretend none of this has ever happened.
Great idea. I'll leave first, if you don't mind.
Mrs. Peacock uses the gun to wave the others into a group.
Be my guest. In fact, I think we all owe you a vote of thanks.
She starts singing.
For she's a jolly good fellow, for she's a jolly good fellow.
The rest of the guests start to sing as well.
She's a jolly good fellow. Nobody can deny.
Nobody can deny.
I regret saying anything. Mrs. Peacock carefully slips out the door. As soon as the door shuts, the party stops singing. They relax somewhat. At least the immediate danger is past.
I told you I didn't do it.
Well, what if the authorities find out what happened?
The FBI will take care of that.
You mean?
My phone call was from Mr. Hoover. I work for him, of course. How else could I have known everything about you all?
There's still one thing I don't understand.
One thing?
Who was Mrs. Peacock taking bribes from?
A foreign power. Her husband, the senator, has influence over defense contracts.
Is there going to be a cover-up?
Isn't that in the public interest? What could be gained by exposure?
But is the FBI in the habit of cleaning up after multiple murder?
Yes. Why do you think that's run by a man called a Hoover?
Exterior Hill House in the driveway. Mrs. Peacock has her keys out and is getting ready to get into her car. The elderly evangelist steps out onto the driveway.
Oh, Mrs. Peacock.
How did you know my name?
The kingdom of heaven is at hand.
He whips out a gun and points it at her. Floodlights engage and cops pour out of the yard.
Okay, take her away.
Take your hands off me. I'm a senator's wife. I want to speak to your manager.
Okay, Karen. Bye, Karen.
That's a real name.
Go to jail, Karen.
The front door opens and the guests, with Wadsworth at their head, pour out onto the porch.
Wadsworth, we got her.
You see, like the Mounties, we always get our man.
I'm skipping that one.
You can say it. It's fine. Just say it.
No.
Next.
Camera freezes. Cut to a card reading, "But here's what really happened." Interior, ground floor in the hall. Wadsworth switches on the lights like in the other two endings.
Sorry, didn't mean to frighten anyone.
You're a bit late for that.
Then there were 3 more murders.
So who did it?
Wadsworth starts striding away.
Let's consider each murder one by one. Professor Plum, you knew that Mr. Body was still alive. Even psychiatrists can tell the difference between patients who are alive or dead. You fired the gun at him in the dark and missed, so you pretended he was dead. Now, that's how you were able to kill him later, unobserved.
That's right. She was the missing person in the kitchen after we found the cook dead.
But she was with us in the billiard room when we found Yvette screaming. If that's when the cook was killed, how did she do it?
I didn't.
You don't expect us to believe that, do you?
I expect you to believe it. You killed the cook. She used to be your cook, and she informed on you on Mr. Body.
In the dining room, Wadsworth enters. The guests stay around the door from the hall.
You made one fatal mistake.
She sits in the spot Mrs. Peacock occupied during dinner.
Sitting here at dinner, Mrs. Peacock told us that she was eating one of her favorite recipes. And surprise nut cake, though popular in Cantonese cuisine, are not often found. Are not often to be found in Washington, D.C.
In the hall, the party re-enters the hall from the dining room.
Colonel Mustard, when we saw the motorist at the front door.
Cut to a flashback, the inside of their huddle when the motorist arrived. The following happens as Wadsworth describes them.
You took the key to the weapons cupboard out of my pocket. Then you suggested that we all split up. You separated from McScarlet across the hall, opened the cupboard, took the wrench, ran to the conservatory, entered the lounge through the secret passage, killed the motorist with a blow to the head.
Cut to interior ground floor in the lounge. The present.
Like that.
She strides into the hall.
This is incredible.
Not so incredible as what happened next.
She starts up the stairs.
After we split up again, I went upstairs with you. Yes, you, Mix White.
The butler stops on the landing.
And while I was in the master bedroom.
Cut to flashback of Mix White hurrying downstairs.
You hurried downstairs, turned off the electricity, got the rope from the open cupboard, and throttled Yvette.
Cut to the present in the hall.
You were jealous of your husband was stooping Yvette. That's why you killed him too.
Yes. Yes, I did it. I killed Yvette. I hated them so much. It flames on the side of my face, breathing flames, heaving. Drums in the deep.
While you were in the billiard room.
Cut to flashback, the events occurring as the butler describes them.
I used the wrong color, but Mick Scarlet seized the opportunity and under cover of darkness got to the library where they hit the cop whom they'd been bribing on the head with the lead pipe.
Cut to the present in the hall.
True or false?
True. Who are you, Perry Mason?
No, bitch, I'm Harry Potter.
Oh, shit.
Harry Potter. I'm sorry.
Hermione.
So it must have been Miss Green who shot the singing telegram.
I didn't do it.
Well, there's no one left.
But I didn't do it. The gun is missing. Whoever's got the gun shot the girl.
Wadsworth pulls the gun from her pocket.
I shot her.
You?
So it was you. I was going to expose you.
I know. So I chose to expose myself.
Please, there are ladies present.
You thought Mr. Body was dead? But why? None of you even met him until tonight.
Miss Green understands.
You're Mrs. Body. Yaddy, yaddy, yaddy.
Hey, real hot girl shit.
Wait a minute. So who did I kill?
Wadsworth shrugs.
My butler.
Alex.
Wadsworth uses the revolver to wave the professor to join the group.
He was expendable, like all of you. I'm grateful to you all for disposing of my network of spies and informers. Saved me a lot of trouble. Now there's no evidence against me.
So there's nothing to do with my disappearing nuclear physicist husband or Colonel Mustard's work with a new top-secret fusion bomb.
No, communism was just a red herring.
Wadsworth runs to the front door, keeping the revolver trained on the party.
But the police will be here any minute. You'll never get away with this. Any of you.
Why should the police come? Nobody's called them.
You mean, oh my God, of course.
So why shouldn't we get away with it? We'll stack the bodies in the cellar, lock it, leave quietly one at a time, and forget that any of this ever happened.
Ms. Green takes off her glasses and starts to put them in her jacket's inside pocket.
Hold on. My laptop is sad.
Oh no.
Oh.
No, it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. And you'll just go on blackmailing us. All.
Of course. Why not?
Well, I'll tell you why not.
She whips a pistol from her jacket and fires. Wadsworth tries to get off a shot, but is far too slow. The
That's what she said.
Good shot, Green.
Wadsworth slides down the closet door to the floor. She looks at the blood flowing out of her chest.
Very good.
Wadsworth dies. Ms. Green stands fully, lowering the pistol. She already looks more confident than she has yet during the night. Mixed-White steps up to her. She points the pistol at them.
Are you a cop?
No, I'm a plant.
A plant? I thought people like you were usually called a fruit.
Ha 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 ha. FBI. That phone call from J. Edgar Hoover was for me. Yeah.
She steps up to the front door and grabs the handle, but who was phone?
What? I told you I didn't do it.
She opens the front door. Cops pour in. The elderly evangelist, the chief, follows them in.
All right, who done it?
The guests all try to explain, blaming each other.
That one in the yellow, that one in the red, all crazy.
Lipstick.
I just work
all
here.
of them.
They all did it. But if you want to know who killed Miss Body, I did in the hall with a finger gun. And take him away, Chief. I'm going to go home and sleep with my wife.
The camera freezes as Ms. Green turns to leave, and she and the chief grin. The end.
Hey!
Yay! Oh my God, that was.
We did it.
We did
it, Joe.
We did it, Joe.
We did it again.
Again. Oh, thank you all so much for spending your party Sunday afternoon with us. I know how valuable and important that time is if you have a normal Monday to Friday 9 to 5 like I do. We hit, for those of you who tuned in after my little announcement, we hit goal before we started Act 2. So $500+ dollars going to MTUG for their valuable services. But I know everyone wants to get out of here, especially Samantha. So I'm going to start Daniel Cook as our narrator. Thank you. I know a lot of that was very wordy, like 4 pages of words.
Oh my gosh.
Thank you. Cadaver as our jiggly maid, Yvette. Thank Thank you. Big thank you to Kale Davis for stepping up because we were
Yes.
literally trying to get one more person. Thank you.
Yay
No
for
problem.
Separation of
Jackie.
characters in under a minute. Priceless. Loved all of it.
I try.
Samantha Madison as our Professor Plum. Yes, give her all her roses now.
Woo!
Liz Reichart as Colonel Mustard.
Yes.
Yay.
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 Luke Seckington as Mixed White.
Happy birthday.
Happy
Happy
birthday.
birthday.
Yeah.
For their jolly good fat. No, we're not doing that. Again.
No,
That was
not do that
bad
again.
once
That was
enough.
horrible.
That was bad once enough. We're not doing that again. Happy birthday, though, Luke. Kelsey Davis as Ms. Green.
Woo!
Thank you.
Gonna go sleep with your wife.
Yes. Sean Watson as Mixed Scarlet. I mean, just
Woo!
also this look. This look is just, it's soft. It's very soft.
It's very blended. Very blended.
Yes.
Yes.
Props to Sheila.
I touch all of their skin.
Which I guess while I'm thanking Sean as well, props to Sheila for keeping the girls.
Yes.
And of course we miss our
She's
Willa.
playing
Which,
well, though,
Props
right?
to all of our
how did
spouses.
nobody mention Willa on our
I'm gonna say actually
Oh,
after the show that
yeah.
I forgot to say my favorite part of some of these shows has been
Bella.
Chelsea's little girl. So freaking cute
I will-
and
I will
perfect
give Willa a
as little baby girl in
Yay.
that show.
Yes.
Yes, she got to play your daughter.
Yes.
Real life.
Yes.
Wow, imagine that.
Ginger, my co-creator is Wadsworth.
Sorry for that accent, everybody.
That was a choice.
There was a lot going on. There
It-
were times it felt like Nanny McPhee, and then it felt like
McGonagall in there sometimes.
A little bit of McGonagall.
Little
bit-
Oliver.
Ooh.
Dracula.
Yeah, he started out as Dracula. That was weird.
It was a choice. It was a choice.
it's the baby.
Yay! It's Willa.
Hi.
Hi.
Yay! Our favorite junior player.
Yes.
Give me words of wisdom.
No.
Well said.
Rude.
That's a smart girl.
Well said. Oh gosh.
And can we give a shout out to our Miss Peacock, Miss Sarah Jameson?
Uh,
Yeah.
I want to get this dress off. It's heavy. It's sequins, and it probably needs to be laundered because of all the sweat.
It's hot.
Sexy.
Yeah, I know. Real good. Thank you all for tuning in today for the last year or so. Keep following our Facebook. We're going to post updates and stuff. We will be back. This is not the end, as I've said. We're just going to be a little bit more sporadic. But also stay tuned for August because we are technically doing some kind of PlayerCon because Michelle's coming up to St. Louis.
Yay!
PlayerCon in the park. Maybe, no, not in the park. Park's going to be hot in August now, they let. So,
Yeah,
all right. Cool. All right. That's it for us today, guys. Have a great Sunday. Have a great week. And thank you as always for